All Kaps, mga kapamilya, kapuso, kapatid, kabarkada, mga katipuneros. It's time to level up with your host, multi-awarded multimedia guru, Noel Ferrer, here on All Kaps. Ateneo, level up. Level up. Level up. Level up.
Okay. All good, all ready, and all the best. All caps, mga Atenisa, dito sa Ateneo Campus Radio. It's time for Ateneo to level up. And this is your talk variety program showcasing the best in media and other fields as we feature our most loved personalities and the best practices of what we truly refer to as Magis. Ako po, si Noel Ferrer, batch, bukuhan na ng batch. 1989 ng Ateneo, philosophy major at broadcast com sa graduate school. But before anything else, I have to plug this. I'd like to call on all the students and friends of our dear Fads, tawag namin Fads sa kanya, Father Nim Gonzalez, dating father. He is launching a book, Confessions of an Ex-Jesuit, December 8, 3 o'clock na Masa Yesu. Tapos 4 o'clock yung book signing sa Faber Hall. Kasi yun, yung kanyang libro, Confessions of a Bagbabalik ni Father Nim. Tawag pa rin namin sa kanya Father kasi parang tatay namin. Well, our first guest this afternoon, hindi ko rin akalain pero sabi kong gano'n, buti na lang siya yung sinugo na makausap tungkol sa ang general topic natin talaga is ano talaga yung ibig sabihin ng pagkapanalo natin sa UAAP Games. So, what does it really mean to us Ateneans? So, sabi nga, ano yan, sweet victory or parang it was a sweet dun sa 16-0 na victory. And I have here someone, so yun, first guest may not have been my teacher but he was significant in my formation because he was part of the socially oriented cluster ng mga student orgs dati. So, we called it Kadipa, if you remember. And then the OSCIS as the lead organization. Then when I got to the student council and later as yun, the director of student activities, he would always be there to help us with our formation programs. And good thing, yun sa parang, the good thing with him, actually, sila ni Bobby Gev, we've always looked up to them as people walking their talk. So that was important to us. Parang he never played high and mighty. Actually, nagulat ako na tumanggap siya talaga ng administrative position. Or ayaw nila ni Bobby Gev dati na may mga titulo. Talagang sila yung magtatrabaho pero yun, tahimik na nagtatrabaho na maayos. And well, that's it. He simply did his vocation well and consistently, simple and excellent. At kitang-kita na ang consistency yan sa ginagawa niya sa disiplina niya at kahit sa pamilya niya. Please welcome, well, of course, someone we all look up to. Well, Mr. Benji Tolosa. Hello, Boss Benji. Yan.
Thank you.
Hindi ka nagulat na ikaw pag-uusapan mo of all things sports.
But I'm a basketball fan.
That's good. At sabi nga ni Marlon Belches, napanood mo raw lahat ng games.
Well, hindi naman lahat kasi hindi ako makapanood pag na MOA on a weekday. Siyempre may trabaho. Except of course this
The last one.
So we had
What happened there? Parang sa MOA talaga yun, and did we really expect it na okay, kailangan i-end it na sa second game? Or hindi na natin patatagalin dun sa pangatlong game.
Siyempre mahirap naman, di ba, kung matalo pa.
Masilat pa yung momentum.
Di ba yung 16-0, no?
That's true. That was a
16-0
record.
was really a significant thing. But as anyone pointed out to you, 16-0 on the 160th anniversary of the
Ibang
Ateneo.
klase, no? Oo,
Parang
parang pinag-adjust.
Pinagsama talaga. Pinagtagpo. No?
Buti, parang pero at the start of the season when you were like monitoring it, yun talaga yung prayer ng mga tao, or you expected that somehow?
Well, di ba Tab Baldwin was saying that he knew that somehow it was the dream, di ba, of the players.
And he made
they
it
were
happen.
really pursuing greatness, no, in many ways. But of course, they didn't talk about it. Diba, sabi niya,
di ba ganun naman
because that was not the goal.
Yes.
In fact, the strength of the team was that they were they're playing one game at a time.
That's true.
Of course, many people knew that they were capable of that, diba?
Yes.
16-0.
Yes.
And they knew that it was not because of any individual player, diba?
That's true. That's true.
No one in
that
team was in the mythical team.
That's
and yet,
true.
And yet perfection, diba?
Ang galing. Ang galing ng point.
That's why people love this team,
Ang galing. Kasi wala nga sa Mythical 5, no? Parang,
diba?
Pero it was a teamwork, but it was a team effort. Yes, it was kinda, expected na or pinananalangin na sana nga mag 16-0. But for the university, talagang struggle din kasi medyo nag-aaral tong mga to.
Yeah.
Kumusta yung academic standing ng mga bata?
Remember, di ba? Remember that this champion team started out with losses, di ba? I mean,
That's
losses
true.
in the sense, loss of players.
Yes,
Diba?
yes.
Even Tab Baldwin was saying that this was not the team that was given to him 4 years ago. Yun ba? Yung sabi niya, ang ganda-ganda ng sinabi niya, di ba? That he has been proven wrong.
Yes.
Because when he looked at this team, parang hindi niya nakikita ito yung magdadala sa Ateneo. And yet, this was the team that carried it. But I think it's very, very important to point that out. No? It really started with difficulties.
That's true.
In fact, it started with players were lost, no?
Yes.
But in a sense, you might say it was a blessing in disguise because you really built a team from the ground.
That's true.
And then maybe you built a team that could be capable of the culture that they eventually developed. No, it was a
true.
system, di ba?
Yes.
Team basketball talaga, di ba?
Yes.
And at the same time, there was a certain culture. Di ba si Tab was asked before, di ba? So he was asked, why is it that the Philippines cannot win internationally?
Internationally,
Diba? Sabi niya,
yes.
Ba't nahihirapan tayo sa mga FIBA? Kasi sabi niya, ang problema, ang philosophy is that they give the ball to someone, expect that player to create for himself,
to be
tapos kung wala na, papasa niya sa iba to try to create for himself too, no? Pero
it's not about one person.
What you do is you develop a team that creates for others.
Ang galing.
To create for others, no? So they were creating for one another.
Galing.
So isn't that, di ba?
Sana pang bansa. sana ganun din sa bansa, no? In the end,
It's a model, di ba? It's a model.
At ang maganda nga parang, when Teachers Day came and sabi na, we are really there, we are apostles of the average, or hindi man sila great, diba? Wala kasi sila sa mythical 5, no?
Yeah.
Pero parang na-inspire sila to be their best. Yun yung magandang nagawa dun sa nangyari. But their academics, hindi ka naman, to be clear, no? Hindi ka naman pwedeng maging player nang hindi maayos yung academic standing.
In fact, this year, di ba? Meron mga players na magaling na couldn't play also because of grades, no? So in a sense, si Tab really emphasized that, no? Academic excellence.
Again, part of your the holistic education.
Yeah.
So parang kailangan maayos ka sa academics. Yun yung first.
Well, hindi lang academics, remember.
Yes, of course.
I think, di ba, ito yung sinasabi natin when the Jesuits got into education, they put together models from existing school systems at that time, no? Una, of course, they were all products of the University of Paris, diba? So they brought in even that the production of knowledge, Veritas, specialized professional training, which we have, diba? But at the same time, they brought in the other humanistic side.
Eloquensya, sapiensya, may ganun pa,
Which formation of character.
That's true.
Formation of the whole person. And part of the formation of the whole person is also the physical, diba?
That's true.
So, what makes this team really attractive too, and I think the reason for it also in many ways is Coach Tab Baldwin, di ba?
Iba.
I mean, talagang kung merong model of cura personalis, di ba? Yan, di ba? Di ba talagang parang pinagtagpo sa Ateneo. And I think he's also grateful that he got to know his players and got to know the Ateneo. And gave him these chances. Di ba sabi niya, ang daming holes sa kanya.
That's true.
Di ba, nung una? And yet, after 3 years, 4 years, napunuan yun, di ba?
Ang maganda pa parang it's not about him. And it's not about a particular player. Wala parang walang umaako na akay naging successful. But yun, yung buong sistema, yun yung nag-work. So, what does it mean now with the victory? Ano yung kahulugan or kahalagahan nito sa Ateneo Community Bench?
Of course, yung victory is
masaya, of course.
No? But I guess yung model of how do you build a team, di ba?
That's true.
How do you build a team?
True. Hindi rin overnight kasi pinaghirapan nila yan.
No shortcuts, di ba? Yung no shortcuts. I think, hindi ko na babanggitin iba, but other teams realize that, no? There are no shortcuts to this. Sabi ko nga, nagsimula ito with losses. We lost to LaSalle, di ba?
That's true.
In the finals in 2016.
Yeah.
And yet, no one expected that team to get to the finals, di ba?
Yeah.
Pero it started with that, no? Even 30 was saying, di ba? It started with this year not playing, di ba?
That's true.
So it starts with difficulty rin And sabi nga ni Coach Tab, di ba? Yung nakikita last system, di ba?
Magaling.
Na smooth at lahat,
And it
di
came
ba?
after.
Pero sabi ni, I think it was Isaac who pointed it out, it's hard work, di ba?
That's
It's
true.
hard work.
He had to lose weight, pinag-diet siya ng
Yeah, and
later.
talagang in practice, sabi ni Coach Tab, this is the team that practices the most in
That's
all his
true.
40 years
That's
of coaching. Tapos yung
And humbling. Actually,
humbling for him.
kasi
Sabi
di ba
niya.
kailangan yung playing time daw niya kukunti kasi maintindihan niya na mas may ibang plans.
So sabi niya, they sacrificed their time,
That's
they
true.
sacrificed their ego, but sabi niya, what they did not sacrifice is their love for the game. No? So
That's
sabi ko,
true.
yun yung di ba? Ignatius
Ganda,
also believes, di ba?
ganda.
that You find God in all things, di ba? And if there's love, di ba? The sacred is there, no? God
That's
is there, di ba?
true.
So may di ba? You can find that. So sa akin, merong something that's consistent something that we believe in. It's not something that comes over
Na nangyari
hard work.
lang, yes.
Pero sabi rin ni Coach Tab,
Maganda yun,
yung system, it looks robotic, sabi niya, di ba?
Pero
Because it's so smooth. Pero sabi, hard work comes from ultimately heart, sabi niya, di ba?
That's true.
Kasi di ba sabi nung, I think the UP players or the UP fans were saying, yung kanilang team ang may heart, no? Yun yung
Pero kumampi sila sa atin pagkatapos.
pero sabi ni Coach Tab, yung hard work comes
That's
from
true.
heart.
That's
di ba?
true.
Comes from love.
That's true.
So di ba?
Or walang or hungkag yan kung wala yun
Yeah.
eh.
So totoo, I think it's from there. It started with loss, starts with defeat. And yet, it's built on hard work. It's built on love, di ba?
Pero Benji, sabi nila, hindi naman kayo kasing uhaw. Nanalo na kayo ng ilang beses. Parang hindi nyo na lang ibigay sa iba. Parang ganun, parang ang dali-dali.
Pero hindi naman ganun. Competition
Oo naman. Excellence pa rin naman yun. Pero sabi, hindi exciting kasi Ateneo na naman. Pero how did, iba, it was really, done professionally, I guess. Na tipong, okay, may the best team win. And they were the best.
But the USD game was difficult also, di ba?
No, for the last game.
But even the first game, there were moments in the second quarter.
Maganda yan.
It's just that may sagot sila lagi.
Totoo yan.
So yun. Of course, the average, di ba, average lead nila was something like 16 a game, di ba?
Yes.
Pero, yun nga hindi mo nakikita yung hirap, di ba?
Let's go back to the game last
Sige.
Kinabahan ka at a certain point.
Oh, of course, no.
Yung third quarter.
2, tapos fourth quarter, bumaba by 1, di ba?
Correct,
pero yun sabi ko, merong sagot, no? So, of course, SJ Belangel, no?
Yes.
Did that, no? Pero
okay.
ang isang hindi nakita ron, yung shot na naka-tres siya, di ba?
Yes.
Pasa ni 30 yun di ba?
Correct.
So si 30 was playing not just as the star, scorer, but he was also passing, no? I think yung pa isang story dito. 30 developed as a complete player.
Correct.
Di ba?
Correct.
Because of this, no?
Kailangan magbigay ka, hindi ka pwede. Although, at a certain point,
defense, di ba?
I was listening to his interview, sabi niya, alam niya meron siyang pagkakamali at alam niyang i-correct siya ng coach pagkatapos, pero tuloy-tuloy
O pinagalitan pa siya, di ba?
Yes.
Sa fourth quarter, yung charging foul, di ba?
I know,
Pinagalitan siya.
yun.
But he also knows when to score, di ba? When
That's
to
true.
drive in.
That's
And
the
it
point,
seems,
yes.
isa yun sa mga tinago nila, di ba? Hindi
Yes.
nakita masyado yung inside plays nung previous games.
Yes.
But nung game 1,
Ang galing na analysis,
game 2, diba?
correct.
Yung sinasaksak rin sa loob, di ba? Yung pasahan sa loob.
Correct.
So merong system, meron din tinatago, and I think because Tab has di ba, coached internationally.
Yes.
Ayaw mo rin nasa scout ka, no? So meron ka rin tinatago.
So hindi mo agad nilalabas yung mga alas mo para
and I think the sweep 14-0 sweep allowed them to hide that because yung mga iba naglaban muna because they were worried, di ba? Some people were worried baka magkaroon ng rust, di ba?
para may pattern kung parang alam
but
na
again,
kung
they were
paano.
practicing, no? So
That's true.
talaga, I think you have to say, and people were saying na talagang merong certain degree of self-confidence.
That's true.
And maybe they were really a cut above the rest, no?
Yes.
I mean, especially this year.
Sabi nga parang
Especially this year.
they were men. Parang they knew their stuff when they were the court. Parang kitang-kita mo, nag-struggle din talaga naman yung USC, but they performed well.
Yeah.
Better actually in this last game.
Especially in shooting, di ba?
Yes.
Shooting.
Or swerte na rin lang yun. Yung swerte, pumapasok na
magaling yung shooters talaga.
nila.
Si Nonoy, di ba? Si Abando.
At saka yung mga follow-up shots nila na tipong,
Because of
pumapasok pa rin.
Chubby Yo. And the
Yes.
reason for that was the foul trouble, di ba?
Yeah.
Nagkaroon ng foul trouble
Yes.
si Ange nung ano pa lang
Correct. Umpisa pa lang.
First quarter pa lang. And then, di ba, ganun yung rule ni Coach Tabe, dalawang foul mo, upo ka. So hindi hanggang third quarter hindi ka papasok. So we had trouble with the fouls, di ba?
But did you see his hand? Ano pa yung kamay na kumilos during the finals? Parang although may mga sinasabi lang expected na yan na in the end aangat pa rin yung mga Atenista. Pero kasi ang masasukat mo yung galing at pagka-stable ng team pag natetest, yung lumalapit. Paano yung ganon nilang approach? Paano nila nasasangga?
Defense, I think,
that's
diba?
true.
Number one defensive team.
That's true.
And ako, personally, I was worried kung matlamangan sila sa simula, di ba? Kasi
true.
mas mahirap
Humabol,
di ba?
correct,
In a way, it happened during the FEU game. In fact, I was more worried kung FEU makalaban, di ba? Because
talaga?
they play very good defense. In a way, the FEU coaches know the Ateneo team very well. Diba? Maraming Atenista ron sa... Pero nung lumamang tayo ng malaki dun sa both games 1 and 2, I think that was a good cushion. So maski na nung humabol, di ba, sa second quarter or nung game 2, fourth quarter, humahabol ang UST. I think the cushion that was built at the start really helped. No? So I think it was very good that they started strong.
Yeah.
And part of the reason why they started strong in game 1 was really the defense. No? Yung una, di ba, hindi man ma-inbound ng bola ng UST. Di ba? Tapos lumamang tayo kagad ng 16 points. Ganun din sa game 2. We were leading by 16, but of course, again, expect the run from UST.
Correct.
In fact, I saw yung first round game. Kinakabahan rin ako doon sa UST.
Yes.
That was a weekday game, but I watched that.
Ayan talaga. Kasi mas malapit.
Yeah, pwede mo LRT noon.
Okay.
So I had a meeting. So sabi ko, mahuli ako sa meeting. I watched that game. But I thought that really...
So USC was tougher. Well, kunyari,
I thought so.
If we were up against kunyari ng UP, although UP kasi had this emotional thing na tipong kapitbahay at the underdog at yun tipong...
Hindi. Tsaka, I mean, individually,
That's true.
magaling yung UP. Pero I think in terms of
the group, the team,
maybe even cohesiveness maybe even passion nung and maybe the coaching matters. UST was strong.
I'll pick you up from there. FEU was a tougher competitor.
I thought so. We had a hard time in the second round game against FEU. We were coming from behind. In a way, they play a similar game to Ateneo's.
Because probably the Ateneans are there. No?
Even yung dribble drive offense na ginagamit. FEU plays something like that. Tapos tougher defense. I think nung first round game, it was really a defensive game. Tapos nung second round, in fact, they were leading, di ba?
Yes,
tapos
sumabol lang.
I didn't see that game live kasi Samoa yan. On a Wednesday.
Buti lang napapunta ka sa Samoa. Sumama ka ba dun sa 30 pesos na na service doon?
Si Marlo offered to provide
kasi nag-send off si Marlo dun sa
the deans and the associate deans. So sumama ako dun sa van. 2 hours to get there.
Grabe, no? Grabe talaga. But it's well worth it. At least we knew we were gonna end the last game, no? Yun na. Although,
of course, we were really hoping, di ba? Pero kaya nga, sabi ko nga, nagulat ako nung lumabas yung announcement na may bonfire, di ba? That day before. So sabi ko, sobra naman yata ito.
Ang bilis. Parang expected. No, ako naman, I got my ticket from the ABS people. Thank you. Pero ang nangyari doon, kasi, kadadating ko lang, sabi ko, the next day na yung game. They were expecting a third game. So sabi ko, kasi kayo, komerso yung habol. So really, sabi niya, parang mas exciting and really, and they were ready for a third game ng Saturday supposedly, but we wouldn't have allowed that.
But I think this team deserves the 16-0.
That's true.
They really do deserve this. Kasi talagang they really worked hard for it. And I think it's the system and the culture. Para sa kanila to. I mean, they really wanted it, di ba? Mas hindi lang sila
record, di ba? It was a perfect season.
Wala pang nakakagawa ng ganito. And I think all the way to the finals na Final Four, di ba? Kasi,
at nagulat ako na combined record statistics ng pag nagsama yung UAAP tsaka NCAA, pinakamarami pa rin naman. So, tama. Ako hindi ko nakuha yung 160 yung in 160 years.
Years sa Ateneo, di ba? Tapos 16-0, di ba?
Ang galing.
Tapos we have have the most championships in the whole of collegiate basketball. But sinasabi ko sa'yo, basketball lover ako. Part of the reason is I grew up in San Beda, grade school, high school.
Sorry, natalo kayo. And that was unexpected
but
too,
that
ha?
also is a school with a basketball tradition.
Pero ang sakit din nun, Benji. Parang they were well, the people who gave me my ticket sa ABS-CBN were from San Beda. Nasabi nilang, ay, katatapos lang namin the day prior na natalo. Unexpected at anniversary pa
Masakit
natin
yun,
ng Letran. Yes, kasi we were kind of expecting that.
So parang sana double championship ako, no?
Hindi, parang sabi ko, ngayon Atenista muna. Pero other learnings, things to be learned from the championship and how we can relate it to like student life and university life.
Well, of course, community is important. I think part of the reason why we decided, I think maybe towards the late 90s that we were going to compete. There was a time na parang almost like sinasabi ng Ateneo, basketball or sports should assume parang second priority. But there was a reason, I think in the 80s, especially during martial law, di ba, towards the end of martial law, parang sinasama mas may importanteng bagay than sports. I think that was, even I said that, I think. Pero I think towards the 90s, I think we decided that we wanted to compete. Una because yun nga, human excellence is total, di ba?
Ang galing yan. It's character building really.
Yun, I think formation of character.
That's true.
So in fact, it's consistent with the Jesuit formation. And I think yung the fact that it brings together the community
people,
is also important. Of course, there's a danger always, yung thin line towards tribalism, di ba?
Yeah, that's true.
Yan ang danger dyan. But I think maganda rin yung nangyari, di ba? Both UST and Ateneo responded to one another's di ba? Tweets ba yun?
Yes, and the alma mater song and people like respecting that.
So maganda yun. So parang graciousness in defeat, magnanimity in victory. Maganda yun. And I think and remember both Catholic schools, di ba?
That's true.
And by the way, saan ba natin nakuha yung love for basketball, di ba? Yung Catholic colleges, di ba, in the US, di ba? Really built that. And part of the reason why they had that was that the Catholic schools were in parang inner city places, di ba? Sa cities. And I think to a certain extent, that's how basketball develops as a sport. Kasi it's parang low cost siya, di ba? Sa urban areas, you can set up courts, di ba? So the Catholic schools' commitment to educating people in the cities, initially with immigrants, di ba? Who were working class. And then later on, as even the whites moved out of the cities, blacks were in the, di ba? The city. So notice how yung Catholic education is also in many ways linked with basketball, di ba?
Ang galing. So parang it was really a holistic formation of character. Tapos ang daling maka-surmount ng problema. Parang kung oriented ka dun sa game, no? Parang ang galing ng problem solving, ang galing ng pag-unite ng mga tao. Nasasabi mo nga sa mas malaking sistema, sana ganun yung bansa.
But also see it in context, di ba?
Correct.
Sabi ni Coach Tab, yung ayaw niya yung arrogance, di ba?
That's true.
Tapos sabi niya, you also have to put it in context that it is one game.
That's true.
That it is one sport.
And
diba? It's one sport. And you remember even when he talked about perfection, yung 16-0, ang sabi niya, 16-0 means we were better than the other teams in each of those games.
That's true.
In each of those games. So in
walang
other words,
superiority complex.
Hindi lahat. No yabang, di ba? No yabang. Norman Black also said that, di ba?
Yes.
So I think that was very, very important. Put things in perspective then.
Correct.
So we celebrate, no? We love basketball, but it's only one sport, di ba?
That's true.
So in one game. And of course, it's only one part of the human excellence that we're talking about, di ba?
And then part of it will be really them going back to their studies again, di ba? Ganun ulit. Normal na buhay.
Pero yun nga, but what makes Ateneo education distinctive is really the coming together
of all these,
of our core curriculum, our major programs, and our co-curriculum and activities, which include sports.
Buti na lang.
So yun.
Hindi nyo naisip mag-holiday nung last day. Parang sabi, lahat tayo manood na ganun. But you made the facilities open.
Di ba, practically nag-holiday na yung mga
kasi pinopen doon sa Arete, di ba, and people are watching. And then, there was a lot of things to learn about it. Yun na nga. And it also came at a time when, there was too much divisiveness on issues in Ateneo. Nasabi ko, Benji, buti na rin nanalo at nakita natin nagsama-sama yung mga tao.
So there's something, and as I think you have to accept, di ba, that Filipinos love basketball.
That's true.
Kahit papaano sabihin mo, it is the
That's
number
true.
one sport, or at least the number one spectator sport.
Yeah,
Diba?
yeah.
So there's something about basketball that is very Filipino, di ba? Strangely, di ba? Sabi mo, the
Kinuha
height
natin.
at lahat. But somehow, di ba, we somehow are attracted to the game. Sabi ko ako, personally,
You are.
I started with a small court at home. Tapos ganyan. Of course, I never
with your
had
children na now.
I never had the height or the,
Okay lang yan.
the physique.
But you
for
had
it.
a strategy. Ikaw pa. Parang, you would like put, yun nga, a strategy, a plan for all these. Hindi lang bara-bara, di ba? So we saw that too.
Yeah.
And yun. Parang, dun naman, dun sa dynamics ng team, how will that change since a lot of people will be graduating? Parang, of course, the support from administration will still be there, but iba na. Mag-iba rin talaga yung timpla ng mga
Narinig mo
players.
ba yung sinabi ni Coach Tab, di ba? So he cannot now imagine what will
Yeah,
happen if
that's
he
true.
loses these 5 players.
Yes.
But we will replace them. Ang sabi niya, di ba? So he's thinking like a college basketball coach.
May foresight, di ba?
Hindi, tsaka, di ba sa college basketball, unlike professional basketball, you think of player
Training, development, that's true. Yung moment, yes, that's true.
So that's why you really cannot you cannot think in terms of shortcuts. No?
That's true.
Ako ayaw ko talaga
Kasi
ito
sa professional-
hindi, tsaka yung one and done, di ba?
Yeah,
Ito,
that's true.
Hindi
In
talaga.
professional basketball, so bilhin natin yan. Di ba? Binibili yung mga kontrata and all para makuha. Di ba? Dito, kailangan ng pagpaplano.
Well,
di ba?
meron din ganun.
Pero hindi naman sa atin.
Hindi.
Okay. Yun eh. Parang
Hindi,
iba. At dadaanan nyo yung proseso ulit. Di ba?
That's
true.
why I think nothing can replace yun nga yung really building
That's
a
true.
team. And I think that was true of Norman Black as well,
That's
di ba? And
At
ang
kasama
maganda pa
yung
kay
trial
Norman
and
Black, he
error.
really went to the provinces, di ba?
Yes,
So nakuha
yes.
natin sila Nonoy Baclaos,
Yes,
Eman
yes, yes.
Montfort, si Epoy,
That's true.
Jepoy Eram, di ba yung mga ganon? And
That's
I think
true.
maganda rin yun, yung ganon. By the way, you have to give credit to schools like UST, no, for getting
Yeah.
Abando,
Yes.
or FEU also for that kind of recruitment. No, yung talaga nagpupunta sa probinsya to get.
So ganun, magsisikhay talaga para to get the recruiting
I
members
suppose
sa
yun,
league.
it's also a way
Do
for
formation work too,
and-
no? Ganyan
and
talaga.
people to have opportunities, no, for
Yes,
education and
yes.
also parang showcase for, if they really want to become professional basketball players, it's also parang a gift that is given as they themselves give the gift of themselves, no?
That's true. So, pero pagbabalik nila ngayon bilang mga estudyante, well, when is the semester ending?
December.
So tapos as people are
Well, they have to
graduating.
take exams, di ba?
Yeah, ganun. And people will go to the draft, yung iba pa, di ba? So have
Well,
to
yung
go
iba,
through the
oh.
process.
But remember, some of them already graduated,
Yes.
di ba? I mean,
Yung iba nag-masters. Okay, correct.
In terms of academics, no? But they're in grad school, yung iba.
So pero we have to say this, wala namang special consideration for athletes, di ba?
Well, special consideration lang in terms of, halimbawa, meron kang game ngayon, syempre,
Oo
kung
naman.
teacher mo, bibigyan naman kita ng di ba?
Okay.
Ng
Palugyat. Okay,
special
parang-
exam.
that's true.
You're representing the school.
That's true.
But
That's
we don't compromise in terms of the QPI, for
Yes,
example. Di ba?
ganun pa rin. So, but do they get benefits from the school? Like, anong suporta naman?
I suppose scholarships. They
That's
get
true.
scholarships.
That's true.
And of course, yung mga training nila, di ba?
Yeah.
I mean, that's also something.
Were they housed? So people should know. Parang, I know they were like housed in a certain, before the games?
Hindi ko alam kung
ano nangyari.
I'm not familiar with yung
Pero it
Pero
worked.
I think
Paragi sila nasa Moro rin. Moro.
Siyempre, yung
Yeah, of
nila.
course.
I think some of them baka nasa dorm din.
Yes. So, dynamics pa dun sa university. So, biglang ngayon nakatingin yung mga tao dun sa training nila in as much as yung sa pag-aaral, pagbabalik nila sa pag-aaral. So, yung pagbubuo noon, yung integration ng basketball experience dun sa buong core curriculum, for example.
Well, yung 'di ba, yung core nga, 'di ba, emphasizes holistic
That's true.
formation. That's kasama rin yung kanilang paglalaro. And I think you sabi ko, what makes it really distinctive is the integration of
That's
the core,
true.
the majors and the
Do we have the human kinetics thing like the UP program? Or
Hindi, wala tayo.
papunta ba doon? Or sports
I'm not
development?
sure,
Or
pero merong courses sa IS yata, di ba?
Nang ganon.
Na sports development. I don't know kung magiging major field, but marami sa kanila rin, di ba, IS or yung mga ganon. So,
Yes.
so pwede rin yun, no?
Pwede pagsamahin yung mga courses.
But I think they also parang they also see yung possibilities that there's life after basketball, di ba? I think even Doug Kramer, who retired recently, was saying basketball is not forever.
That's true.
Si Chris will be your guest.
Yeah.
And after a while,
He's into management, management of his businesses, and ME naman yan. At nag-reunion ng nilang mga ME.
Even those who are for example not as yung parang not of the caliber as students, diba?
Yeah.
But I think yung the whole formation that they get na in the Ateneo, including of course academics, no, there I think what Coach Tab also emphasizes all the players, no, they emphasize yung student athletes.
That's true.
Students first, no, before they're athletes. And I think
ang hirap nun,
talaga mahirap, diba? Talagang I can't imagine nga sometimes ako for
being
example,
part of the core curriculum, parang being the head there. Do you have mga discipline committee and even standards committee
hindi ko yun, hindi ko yun
sila?
trabaho.
Okay.
That's yung parang grades trabaho yun ng Associate Dean for Academic Affairs.
Correct.
Jojo.
Pilihan niya. Dalupal. Teacher ko yan. Buti na rin lang parang Bobby Gevia na buti na lang tinatanggap niya yung mga administrative person. Sila po yung mga teachers namin na ayaw ng admin titles. Gagawa lang sila ng gagawa. At yun parang ayaw nila ng mga titulo pag nag-school forum, school council, ayaw nila yung ganung mga ganyan. Parang natural na mga teachers yan. Tapos biglang nandito na, buti na lang, parang kampante kami na kayo yung nag-head. Paano ka napapayag ng Benji?
It was also really an opportunity to help out.
Kayo ni na mabigyan talaga.
At that point, there was a transition, di ba? We were moving from yung K-12, no?
Yes,
sa basic
yes.
ed, and then Shed had a new GE
Program, yeah.
I think what we did at the Ateneo de Manila was to look at this.
You crafted your own.
Changes externally.
That's true.
That influenced us, but I think it provided an opportunity for us to ask that question: who are we? Diba?
That's true.
As an institution, as a Jesuit, Catholic, Filipino institution, and yun nga, I think the thing that really hit us is that we're really talking mission, diba? And
listen to this, please.
And the curriculum is the carrier of mission.
That's it.
And I think the difference between the new core curriculum now in the past is that even though we have actually reduced the number of units, but we've created a framework of formation that is much more explicit than before. Kasi nung araw we took it for granted. For example, pag tanong yung mga Atenista, diba?
Totoo yan.
Core curriculum, Philo, Theo, diba?
Totoo.
Pero ngayon, ginawa na mas
may humanities and all.
No, tsaka merong stages of formation.
Okay.
From foundations to rootedness to deepening to leadership.
So nakaayos yun talaga.
Yeah, so
okay.
explicit ngayon. And not just the core,
that's good.
how it links with the majors and the co-curriculum.
I remember people had to go to the organizations to experience yung pagbubuo, di ba, dati.
Well,
yeah.
To a certain extent, fair but unfair din siguro.
Pero ang maganda ngayon, naka-integrate na yung ganon, yung formation na part.
So in other words, when you say the curriculum is the carrier of mission, you find it not just in the extra
I know.
or not even
it has to be there in the curriculum.
It has to be there. No? So,
ang galing.
So talagang built in. And then you
there's reason why Jojo, you and Mobby are there. Kasi yun na nga, parang they were the ones really helping us in the social analysis, and then ano yung gagawin dito sa mga area, sa mga apostolates. And now, nandun na, nakapasok na dun sa core curriculum.
Well, not just the core, pati yung majors.
The majors.
And also the co-curriculum. So yung how it's woven together.
That's very good.
What makes Ateneo education distinctive. So,
that's good.
So in fact, ngayon nga mas pa kasi yung CHED
kahit binawasan ng units.
Yung CHED GE, remember, it was reduced to 36.
Yes.
Reduced to 36. We've actually reduced the old core from 92 to 79. But look at the difference. Sa ibang eskwela, 36, di ba?
Okay.
Kung 79 tayo, we've added 43 to the CHED 36.
Okay.
So as you can see, Ateneo education becomes even more distinctive now compared to the other schools. So kung you're really going to parang sell Ateneo education, it is that, di ba?
The core.
The core and how it links with the major and the co-curriculum and the whole Ateneo formation.
So what is it again? Ano yung stages? Ang galing ano yung stages?
From foundation to deepening. From rootedness, from foundations to rootedness to deepening
to leadership. Galing.
So ganun yung so parang yung tawag sa simula, but it's a process of formation that leads to to the ideal Ateneo graduate. Yung ngayon kasi I suppose ang familiar lahat ng Atenista recently yung person for others,
Yes,
person for
yes,
others.
yes.
Ngayon, there was a more recent formulation from Father Colvenbach and Nicolas.
Which is?
Yung, di ba, yung persons of conscience, competence, compassion, and commitment. Yeah?
Conscience.
Competence, compassion, and commitment. Comes back from the 90s pa yan, ha? Pero,
Galing, ha?
4 C's na yan are really, di ba, characteristics of Christ, di ba? And therefore, if you say that our goal is the formation of human excellence, who is the model and fullness of human excellence? Christ. Diba? So the 4 C's really add up to
Naku, ikaw yun conscience.
which is Christ. Who is
Ang
Christ?
galing.
So yun yung and in fact nauna pa ang basic ed to use that formulation. Pero
really?
Yeah. But a lot of Jesuit schools around the world also use that formulation. But yun nga, that's the way we're thinking of our graduate, di ba? People of intellectual depth, creative imagination, social involvement, spiritual maturity. But you can also say yung physical abilities. Na
And we see that here, lalo na.
Kasama yung
and the fullness of it.
Sa human excellence.
And we see that in all the players, and well, yun na nga, kahit sa ang field, no, na pupuntahan ng Jesuit education.
Diba? I thought na meron silang, di ba, we talk about eloquensya, di ba?
And sapiensya dati,
pero
no?
Eloquensya really has been for a purpose.
That's true.
It's always had a social purpose. You want to be able to convince people and persuade people, di ba? Towards social transformation. Kaya
galing. So may ganung context talaga palagi. It's not about us. It's not about the privilege. Oh, yeah, it's true.
Kung magsalita sila, di ba?
Hindi tungkol sa kanila.
Hindi, talagang meron silang ability to communicate.
That's true.
And people are drawn, di ba?
Yes.
Yung sinabi lang ni 30 dun sa court, di ba? Na sinama pa niya yung UST. Diba?
Galing.
Maganda yun, no? So I think yung capacity to communicate, to connect,
importante yun.
Yeah, Alonso Valdez is a very, very good example.
Of course.
Diba yung gano'n, na meron talagang connection. And I think the challenge for Ateneans nga is be able to connect culturally, di ba?
That's true, Benji. Totoo yan.
Cultural rootedness, di ba? Challenge yun. Kasi
pero ngayon, umpisa pa lang yan. The rootedness is there, umpisa pa lang.
Yeah. Hindi lang kasi economic divide.
That's true.
It's cultural divide.
That's true.
So I think importante rin na hindi tayo mahiwalay, no? Kasi syempre minsan yung accomplishment, di ba, can also distance you, no?
Pag meron ka na, or parang if you're famous, o pag panalo ka,
di ba? Yung ganun. Pero I think
pero doon nasusukat talaga yung character, eh.
Yeah. And that's why si Coach Tab really,
iba.
Talagang bagay siya.
At saka hindi niya inaangkin. Ako yun talagang parang, give it to the players. At saka yung mga players would speak well of him, but no one person owns the victory.
And he always puts it in perspective. It's just a game.
Ang galing.
It's just a sport.
Ang galing.
One sport in the context of something that's bigger, di ba? And sa kanya, he formed human beings, no? Di ba? He got to know them, sabi niya, not just as players, but as human beings. Di ba? Yun ang ano? Diba? Formation of human beings, of persons.
Nakikita ko kayo kasi Jojo Dalupan, Filenia, ikaw, si Bobby Giev would always give us that perspective, that context. Kaya hindi yung mayabang. Kaya yun, nakatapak pa rin sa lupa.
Kasi mas malaki naman talaga sa atin.
Na mission, that's true.
So I think that's what really should make you humble. Kasi hindi sa'yo to.
Totoo yun. It's not about us too. That's true.
Hindi talaga sa'yo. No?
Totoo naman. Totoo naman.
Ka lang ng isang mas malaking proyekto o isang mas malaking mission.
Ang sarap. Para kung nakausap ng Diyos. yun. Pero what will that celebration entail, Benji? Like tomorrow, what do you expect? You'll be there, of course.
Of course.
Okay, so
sabi ko basketball fan ako, una-una.
So, administrador ka na, tatanungin ko na. So, okay, there's an autograph signing that will be happening. Saan ba yun? Saan magaganap?
Sa Heritage Room.
Sa Heritage Room.
Tapos siguro may programa.
Yeah.
Tapos,
so, walang kinalaman yung Bellarmine Field na decoration doon, ha? Kasi nakikita ko pagpasok mo ng Ateneo, paghahandayan pa para sa Pasko.
Nung araw meron tayong
Palagi doon.
Hindi, minsan.
Actually, minsan nandun.
Kaso
Para mga booth, di ba, na gano'n.
Pero ever since, mas madalas na dito sa grade school.
Kasi mas pwedeng takbuhan. Okay.
Tapos the following day, sa di ba?
Bakit nga pinag-iba? Ba't pinag-iba? Kasi talaga may misa talaga during that last Sunday, the third Sunday of the month?
Traffic eh.
Totoo. Totoo rin.
There's never been a Wednesday game in MOA na championship.
Actually, nagulat nga ako because people were lingering and staying there at taking their time in MOA. Sabi ko, huy, babalik ba yan ng babalik ba lang yung Loyola Heights?
The logistical problem, yung traffic. Dati kasi, pag Wednesday games, Araneta.
That's true. Mid-week,
so pwede kang pumunta, tsaka mid-LRT.
What LRT? Pag may nabulot ng meeting.
Ngayon, Wednesday games sa MOA.
Mahirap.
There was one championship where we won it in MOA against UST. But it was on a weekend.
No, yes. I remember because we even went there.
I think the 2012 championship was in MOA against UST.
Because tradition natin yun na pag nananalo, pumupunta dito. Actually, I have friends from the Ateneo Chamber Singers. Naka-timbre sila. Sabi nila, Noel, yung asawa ni Chito Salazar, si Aying, sabi niya, may ticket ako, binigay ko na lang sa kapatid ko kasi alam ko, naka-standby kami ng 6 o'clock. Or parang pag dapat nandito kami sa sa Yesu. Yeah. So, hindi na raw natuloy.
Nakabalik kami dito from MOA.
11, I suppose. Or 10.
Close to 10. Di ba?
Ayun
Close to 10.
Totoo
so,
yun
2 hours and a half. So, it would have been impossible. Kasi, may pasok pa the following day, di ba?
Walang patawad talaga. So, walang holiday.
Well, sabi na baka may holiday. Pero hindi.
So, malalaman this weekend. Okay.
I think they deserve it.
Bakit hiwalay pa yung we deserve it. But hiwalay pa yung yung misa. May misa talaga ng Linggo. So, walang misa sa Sabado. So it's not an anticipated mass.
Kasi may autograph signing pa.
Yes, baka tumagal.
Hindi siya anticipated mass. Mass on a Sunday ito.
Oo nga,
so,
pero hindi. Kasi nga, para minsan na lang yung punta ng mga tao. So, mas prolonged celebration talaga yung mangyayari.
Maybe because dahil baka nga dahil meron pang tapos merong ibang activities na nangyayari.
That's true.
Tapos merong autograph signing. Tapos usually after that, kainan ng mga tao sa malalagay yung misa, di ba? So yung and I suppose dahil mapupuyat yung mga tao, hindi umaga yung misa. So,
totoo rin din. Gabi na 6 o'clock in the evening.
Tsaka may yung dorm mass yata, yun yung oras na yun, di ba?
And we're not only celebrating the win of the men's championship.
Swimming.
Ano pa yun? So, we have to say that. Kasi yun, may ibang mga teams pa na kailangan nating celebrate and we have to announce that. Kasi we will honor them also there. Sama ka sa swimming, sa basketball,
badminton,
women's swimming and badminton. So they'll all be there and they'll be recognized. And then from grade school to college and even alumni. So sabi ko, iba rin kasi the week after meron ding homecoming naman na mangyayari sa
parang yung sabi ko 16-0 tapos 160, di ba?
Ang galing.
160. Parang, di ba?
So we're ending really this December. At least napapasko at mas maaga kayong matatapos ng school.
Yeah, because of the new calendar.
So, the week of the 11th, di ba?
Exams yun.
Exams. And after that, tapos na, di ba?
Yeah.
Yun. So, ang ganda.
Yung homecoming daw?
Yung homecoming will be the week after. So, parang, yun. Ang ganda.
December 10 is the foundation date of Ateneo, di ba?
Yes. And then 11th, may arete na celebration for Christmas. And then, may panunuluyan na sa college after that. And then, yun na, mauuna actually matatapos yung mga pasok. So, it's all going to the Christmas season na masaya at least.
Yeah.
Na maayos. So, it's one way of like bringing together the community. Ano pa yung effect? Personally, sa'yo. And were you with your children? With your family then?
Most of the games.
Okay.
Except na Wednesday may pasok sa
okay.
Hindi siya makasama. Pero kasama ko yung asawa ko.
Yeah.
Tapos madalas kasama ko yung anak ko. In fact, nung unang 5 feet, karga-karga ko pa yan.
Galing.
So I mean, it has become a family affair.
That's true.
Hindi kagaya nung 70s nung NCAA. Di ba, boys school lahat. Diba?
Kasi kinakamahan yung mga tao sa mga siraan ng mga kotse pagkatapos, iba yung the violence. But now, wala nang ganun eh.
76, I was in San Beda on the other. Pero, but yun ang pagkakaiba, I think.
That's true.
And I think it also helped na naging co-ed ng mga
Also.
So yun, mas buo, I think.
Mas buo at ito siguro, there was no of violence. People were more collegial, I guess, and people respected each other. Tama nga yung pinatapos yung UST hymn, and then people were clapping for one another, and people were genuinely happy. Yun,
But the UST team played hard, but hindi marumi. And I mean,
Totoo.
diba, some people were thought na yung Alden Ayo from Letran
hindi rin naman.
Pero hindi, no?
That's true.
In fact, I think in the end, both coaches, diba, said they respected one another. Alden Ayo was even saying that he has learned a lot from Coach Tab. And Coach Tab was saying that Alden Ayos, the way they fought was something that really earned this respect.
So it was really just a perfect mix ng coach, ng team, ng staff even.
Even the opponent, I thought. Huh? Even the opponent.
Maganda yun,
Yeah.
Dahil,
ewan ko,
would it have been different kung FEU, sabi mo?
Tingin ko, baka mas nahirapan tayo sa FEU. Pero yung USD, because of the, yung high octane offense ng FEU was really fascinating. Tapos yung characters like Nonoy and Abando.
Yes.
I thought that also added to the flavor.
Ang galing. Parang ako, although kinamahan talaga ako ng third and fourth quarter, konti pa lang nasushoot, parang hindi tayo nakausad sa 30.
Yung may sagot lagi. Yun yung doon, may sagot. And then I think
at yung sagot hindi mo mapapredict. Kasi parang hindi long shot, hindi shooting from outside. Parang walang pattern.
Si SJ Belangel was scoring di ba? Was scoring in a way at will almost, di ba? 5 3-point shots, di ba?
So may luck.
No, that comes from,
it was really,
di ba, may muscle memory.
Expertise, that it's
muscle
true.
Memory.
That's
so
true.
That comes from hard work. But sabi nga ni Coach, hard work comes from heart. Diba?
Ang galing. At nababalik natin doon. Well, ngayon yung pagka-Atenista dyan, parang palagi sinasabi pag nananalo ng game, masarap maging Atenista. Dito, parang ang sarap manalo. Parang ang sarap manalo at ang sarap bumalik doon sa ano ba talaga yung pinaglalaban. So it wasn't just really the honor of winning a championship again. Kasi ang dami ng championship. Dito, ano yung pinaka-core na, okay, ngayon, what does that mean to the Ateneo community?
Well, merry for you, for your white and blue. We pray you keep us merry, constantly true.
The consistency.
You keep us very faithful to you. So I think yung the faith, no? The love.
True.
And I saw you see God in all things.
True.
And I think yung Jesuit spirituality nga, di ba, world affirming, that there is something sacred, no, in this.
That's true.
And that's why you have to be consistent. You have to live it.
Ay, nako. O yun. Tapos na. Ayan na si Ricky Olivares. Sabi kong ganun. Ang maganda lang, yun din, bilang tao at bilang guro at bilang yun kaibigan na rin, Benji, dun kay Bobby, ikaw, si Jojo at yung mga taong nakasama namin from the start, yun you live your talk. Ako yun, salamat. At yun, buti na lang kayong gumagabay sa mga Atenista ngayon. And we'll just herald all these good things. At maraming salamat, Benji. Alam ko may meeting ka pa pagkatapos at na-assign ka. Marlo, you owe Benji one. No, but Ben, maraming salamat.
Thanks for the opportunity. And a basketball, huh?
Yeah, talk basketball and talk heart and talk curriculum. And well, sabi nga, now, walang kaso yung mga ranking ng universities. And we have to say it. I was telling Matek, iba yung paradigm ng Atenista.
Yes, I think we have to be clear, no? Ano yung criteria dun sa mga rankings?
Correct.
And what do we believe in?
That's true.
So I think that has to be clear to us.
That's true.
So kaya nga sabi ko, baka mas importante pa yung graduate employability ranking.
That's true.
Where we're number 1 in the Philippines. So yung mga ganon. So I think we really have to look at what are we, di ba? As a university, what do we believe in? And then we look at standards of others, but at the same time, what is it that we ought to measure ourselves against?
Ang galing. And in the end, it's that. What defines us bilang mga Atenista? Again, yun nga, the conscience, the competence,
compassion,
the commitment. And the last one you said was Christ.
Christ.
Being Christ-centered. Maraming salamat, Bianca, and we'll remember you with that. And then we'll see you tomorrow at the games, and even it'll be a long weekend of celebration and continued celebration kasi may alumni homecoming. We'll play some music, victory music here, and then thank you, and I'll see you
Thanks
again.
for having-
Idol namin
Yeah.
sobra. Salamat,
Thanks for having
Benji.
me.
Thank you very much.
Sige.
Galing. Para ako nakakausap ng Diyos.
Taon na lang pareho din ang iyong pinaplano. Ngayon mo na kailangan ng totoong pagbabago. Wag mo na kayang palampasin, wag na wag mo na kayang palampasin, wag na wag.
Walang kakalas iyong sinabi nung ako'y umatras. Dahil sa takot na biglang madapa at kumuho ang lahat. Di tayo atras. Huwag kang bibitiw, bigla-bigla ng ating makamit. Nang sama-sama ang ating himit-hit, konti na lang abot kamay na itaas palalo. Eto na tayo, ibibigay lahat ng kayang ibigay. Ibibigay lahat para sa tagumpay. Ibibigay lahat ng kayang ibigay. Ang ating tagumpay. Paniniwala tatat ay susubukin at asahang lahat ay hahamakin. Manali ka lang, magkakaroon din ng saysay. Ang pawis at dugo. Eto na tayo, ibibigay lahat ng kayang ibigay. Ibibigay lahat para sa tagumpay. Ibibigay lahat ng kayang ibigay. Ang ating tagumpay.
Hey, Katipuneros, don't change that dial because we'll be coming right back. Follow at Radyo Katipunan in our social media accounts on Facebook, Instagram, and on Twitter. Radyo Katipunan is now online. See our live feed on facebook.com/Radyo Katipunan. Check out our Instagram and our Twitter at Radyo Katipunan. And subscribe to our YouTube channel at Radyo Katipunan FM for more exclusive content.
Rivers belong where they can ramble. Eagles belong where they can I'm not a river or a giant bird that soars to the sea. But if I'm never tied to anything, I'll never be free. But why do I feel I don't fit in anywhere I go? Rivers, they belong. Eagles, they belong. Everything has its season, everything has its time. Show me a reason and I'll soon show you a rhyme. Cats fit on the windowsill, children fit in the snow. But why do I feel I don't fit in anywhere I go? Rivers belong where they can ramble. Eagles belong where they can fly. I've got to be where my spirit can run free. Gotta find my corner of the sky. Every man has his daydreams, every man has his goal. People like the way dreams have of sticking to their soul. Thunderclouds hail the lightning, nightingales have the song. And don't you see, I want my life to be something more than long. Rivers belong where they can ramble. Eagles belong where they can fly. I've got to be where my spirit can run free. Gotta find my corner of the sky. Rivers belong where they can ramble. I've got to be where my spirit can run free. Gotta find my corner. Find my corner. I've got to be where my spirit can run free. River, they belong. Eagle, they belong. Got to find my corner of the
Time. I've done my sentence, but committed no crime. Paulit-ulit kang nagplano.
I'm a writer, I'm a journalist to PR.
Of course.
Paulit-ulit ngunit
And
lagi
now?
di naman nababago. Wag mo na kayang palampasin, wag na wag mo na kayang palampasin, wag na wag mo na kayang patagalin, tenanaw mo na gawin mo na. Level up, lumilipad. Level up, hanggang ulan. Level up, tumitingkad. Level up, matutupad. Go na, go na, go.
After the Benji Tolosa na parang nakausap ko yung Diyos, ito na yung Diyos ng mga ang bilis sumulat at grabing sound, very sound yung analysis ng game right after. It was really good seeing him and Philip Season there, mga magkakabatch, no, 30 years after college, kasama sa reunion. Well, a journalist, a writer, a PR expert, and now a father of a person, of a daughter, no, who'll go to med school. Kaya kailangan ng racket. Well, the father I've worked with because the father was the president of the Philippine Association
of the Record
Industry sa
Yeah.
Paris. And Gay Olivares was very close to me. Yung sister niya, would sina Liza Guacongwei, would sina Fran Yu Cheng. Here's someone we all respect and whose views we really own. Sinight pa rin ni Benji Tolosa. At kanina marami dun sa mga sinabi niya about the players and even the coaching really mattered. Here's, Ricky Olivares. Ricky, kumusta? Salamat for walking from your office papunta dito. Tama naman yung gauge mo, no?
We are more or less. Hi, good afternoon to all the listeners of Radyo Katipunan. Rico
Maraming
Olivares.
salamat.
Si Noel, kabatch ko yan. Kabatch ko to.
Kailangan may show sa dito kung bagay sa kanya to. Pero, Rex, ang bilis ng analysis mo from that game, may nilabas ka na agad reflection on what happened during the
You know, the funny thing was, guys like Mike Yulo, mga other fans, no, they were asking sila, Rocky Chan, they were asking, Rick, do you have a title ready? Do you know what you want to say? I said,
Ganun
no.
tala agad, okay?
Yeah, right after the game, they asked me, do you know what to write? And I said, no, I don't want to think of it until I sit down. I just want to enjoy the moment.
And you did, yeah.
It's like as a journalist, you let things come to you rather than... Because if you think of an angle already, then you're pigeonholing it sometimes to your vision.
True. Tapos pag hindi nangyari, wala ka. You're thrown
Exactly.
off. Yeah.
So, I think that's the best way you observe, you soak everything in. What are the emotions, the memories that they all bring out in you?
But first thing I asked Benji, were you expecting the 16-0?
No, to be honest, no. But I knew we were going to win it.
Okay.
I just didn't think we'd go 16-0. That was a bonus. That was a massive bonus.
Na nagulat ako na sinabi niyo 16-0 and then, it's the 160th anniversary of Ateneo.
Exactly.
Which we'll celebrate
It's
soon.
also the 80th year where the Ateneo team was dubbed the Blue Eagles. It was first called the Blue Eagles in 1939.
Ang galing.
You know, so it's also the Blue Eagle the King.
Ang swerte natin kasi they're all putting it in context. Ito, kasi yung iba will just, sabi nga, the coach will just say it's just a game. It's put everything in perspective and put everything in context. And you're putting that in context. But when you said we are the winningest team, you were right because pag sinama yung UAAP and NCAA combined, you said tayo pa rin yung pinakamarami. Ricky.
25, yeah.
25.
I think the next team has like 20. That's either UST. UST has 19 in the UAAP and 1 in the NCAA, so that gives them 20. I'm not sure if San Beda has 20 also.
No, parang walking encyclopedia ng sports. Okay. That's our batchmate. I'm so proud. Anyway, ano yung feeling mo when you were there last Wednesday? No expectations talaga, or you were expecting to win?
Yeah, the moment I knew we were gonna win, but I was just worried about the layoff, no? Because
okay.
you look at the Blue Eaglets teams that have swept the elimination round. They always lost game one. We've had about 4 teams that have lost game one, but we went on to win it nevertheless.
Yes.
But UST is such a very good team. They're so dangerous, no? And one can cite the momentum was theirs. They're in shape. You can also say that they're tired. Hindi na,
Kasi magkakasunod
I don't
naman.
think you ever get tired at this stage.
That's true.
These are kids,
But what worked for them?
I'm sorry, tayo.
What worked for
Ateneo?
For Ateneo.
Preparation.
Really?
You know, Coach Tab likes to say that the more time he has to prepare, the better it is for the
At
team.
sila daw yung pinakagrabing mag-practice.
Well, I guess so, but you know, UST practices for 5 hours too a day. So, yeah, but you know, I think
Ang bait
because
mo dun, ha?
no,
Okay,
they
yes.
practice for 5 hours a day. That's no joke, and I've not seen UST's practices, so I'm not at liberty to say what they do. No? This year, I've not been to one at Ateneo practice because I've gone back to the corporate world as well.
But basing on their games, on how they play.
Well, I think there's an advantage. One, you have a very sound coach who's experienced and knows a lot of things.
That's it.
Second is you have a coaching staff, the assistants who've been around for 2 decades.
and who won championships
and who won
also.
championships, so they know what it's all about.
That's
you know, they
true.
know how to adjust and all that. That's the continuity that they bring. That's a massive advantage. And you know, you have assistants who are Sandy. A lot of people respect Sandy. You know, and when he was made Batang Gilas coach, people say that he's the right man. But you have coaches like John Jacinto who are totally underrated. Even Yuri Escueta.
Yes.
You know, so
Big tribute to all those people na malaki yung
diba?
na-contribute. At seldom silang nababanggit sa mga na-interview na ganito, di ba?
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
No? In fact, I remember after Norman Black's first year, no, he wasn't really paying too much attention to his assistants. But after that first year of his, he said, you know, parang fellas, I need help. You know, so obviously the pro game is different from the college game in so many ways. Diba?
That's true.
So it's the same thing. I think that every coach, like whether it's Bo Perasol with Ateneo, with Eric Altamirano with NU, anytime you move from the PBA to the UAAP or for FIBA to the UAP, iba eh.
Iba.
Iba siya agad eh.
Sabi ni Benji kanina, you have to get used to the thought na yung turnover, grabe.
Well,
parang you're in the university structure na you have to do recruitment and then mawawala talaga yung mga seniors. Unlike pag PBA, di ba? Nandyan sila forever as long as okay pa sila dun sa team.
that's also true, no? But they're
At may QP.
that's
yun din,
massive.
marami rin, oo.
That's massive. The other thing is the emotional level, the maturity, no? Technically, once you go into the pros, you're dealing with finished products. Technically,
That's
but
true.
we all know
That's true.
that's not true. But more or less, you're getting more mature players who are older, who understand things better.
Ano yun? Mas less gutom?
Hindi eh.
Okay. Ano yung...
Raw, kumbaga, hilaw yan eh. I mean,
Correct,
di ba?
correct.
Sa grade school, although you can see the changes in the coaching, it's more scientific, it's getting better. But iba pa rin eh. You know, just because you're a star in college, in
Yan
grade
din.
school, that doesn't mean you'll be a star in high school. Let's talk about Jay Havelosa, who played with sila Kiefer, the Eaglets.
Correct.
In the grade school, he was a tall point guard.
Yes.
Pagdating ng high school, merely because he was 6'5", pinagsisentro siya. But,
Yes.
you know, dito kasi tingin agad ng coach, pag matangkad ka, sentro ka, 4-5 ka. Pero hindi dapat ganun eh.
Correct.
Diba? That's why people were criticizing Arvin Tolentino for playing too much outside. But he's not a center.
Correct.
He's actually a 3, maybe even a 4. Diba? But because of his height, people automatically think he should be playing center.
Pero ngayon parang they were grounded, meaning parang lahat sumusunod dun sa coach na there was a science that he was following pero hindi natin totally alam. Sabi nga ni Benji kanina, marami ring tinago na kaya hindi alam ng kalaban. Was that an advantage?
I'm not sure. I don't know, to be honest with you.
Talaga? Or basang-basa mo rin? Or nabasa nyo rin? Pero,
you know, people, with Ateneo, people kind of know what they're gonna do. But,
yeah.
But Coach Tab, I think with all due respect to all the coaches naman, a lot of them, what they do is just really reading, making sure that you understand that you read the defenses right. And you know what the defenses give you. And Coach Tab gives you a lot of options.
That's true.
In case this happens, you do this, and then you do this, you do this. Maraming options. And the other coaches do that naman. But I think that
saan lang na iba dito? Sa coaching?
sa atin, I think that mabilis mag-adjust, mabilis makapuna.
At hindi pinalalampas raw yung mali. Yung tipong ganun, even if you did well, pero may nakita siyang mali, he has to deal with that daw.
Yeah, also.
Kasi sabi nga ni Thirdy nga, alam niyang may mali siya and after the game, kailangan pa rin siyang kausapin ng coach and they have to
Because
deal with that too.
these are still young men who are in college.
That's
They're
true.
nowhere near finished products. No?
That's true.
But I remember in Coach Tab's first year, he was talking about how this team needed a lot of work on a fundamental level, and
That's
you
true.
kind of wonder like, oh,
And we say fundamental.
you go back to basics, diba? This is how you break a press. This is how you attack a press. It's all those things.
Ang galing.
So he broke
So
it
hindi to
down.
overnight. That's not something we have to learn. The teamwork or the personal ability, wala. Meron man potential, pero
I think that I kind of noticed this a lot in the foreign coaches. If I may laterally give an example, San Miguel Beer, when Ron Jacobs took over, in his first week with San Miguel Beer, and
Back to
these are the guys who were coming from Norman Black's team during their time in San Miguel, no? And for their first week under Ron Jacobs, they did not touch a basketball. They did not.
ang galing.
All their sessions at their training facility, they were going over the rule book. How can they exploit
Galing,
things? You have to
galing.
understand why this is so and so.
Okay.
And then that year, they led the league in forced turnovers, etc., etc. Like, violations for yung inbound violation ng kalaban, yung pagtawid, yung mga backcourt violation. They led that league because they studied it. What can we do? How can we exploit this? All that
Galing.
stuff. And then, after 1 week, medyo gigil sila. Talagang classroom daw sila. Kinikwento nga
Galing.
sa akin ni Yves Dignadice, para silang nag-classroom session.
Buti.
Nakaupo.
Na back
diba?
to basics,
And then,
diba?
you had to write down the play. You had to write it down on the board. You had to describe what hindi pwede. You had to express yourself. Each and every one on that San Miguel team had to do the same thing. And that is something, di ba? Kasi parang, having watched Raiko Torreman on Gilas, he had a lot of players not getting what he wanted them to do. So he would ask Chris, can you teach this to so-and-so player,
That's
di ba? I-walk through mo sa kanila. Ito, bago sila mag-walk through sa court sa San Miguel, dinadiagram mo ng mga player, di ba?
At kailangan talagang
Classroom
daanan
session.
nila yon, di ba?
Oo.
So, pero ano yung kahulugan nitong championship na to sa atin? Well, sa Ateneo.
Well, you know what? This is our third three-peat. The first was from 1931 to 34, then 2008 to 2010, and this one. And it's no team has accomplished a 16-0 season in the UAAP.
So, wala talaga.
Diba? In the NCAA, San Beda has accomplished that. Meron.
Team ni Benji yun.
Ito sila Basera Merian. Sila
Okay.
Dave Marcelo, they went
Okay.
16-0. So, but I think, while we're enjoying that, I think the big, ang mas perfect sa akin, yung 8 for 8, since Tab won his first UAP championship. In all 8 tournaments they participated, they went in local, let's be very clear, local tournaments, they've won all 8 championships.
Galing, no? Pero ang ganda lang ng perspective na hindi yun talaga nakaplano na 16-0. Hindi. It was
That's a bonus.
in relation to, I guess, to sino yung kalaban, ano yung conditions during that time, para hindi umabang. Parang ganun, di ba? Parang, ang galing.
Privately naman the players talk about it, but publicly they don't really do, no? Kung kakayanin lang habulin itong perfect season. I'm sure it's
it was a dream. It was what they wanted.
No, you don't really. They didn't go into the season thinking, let's go 16-0.
Yan nga
It's just to win a
Kasi
championship.
Pag conscious ka kasi dyan, pag athlete ka, mas lalo kang matatalo, di ba? Parang,
Oo din naman, but you set yourself up with false expectations
That's
and all
true.
the wrong goals. Because at the end of the
That's
day,
true.
if you are undefeated in the elimination round and you don't bring home the championship, then what was the point of it?
Correct.
So, you take it literally one game at a time. Literally.
Tama
Medyo
yun eh.
nakakasawa pakinggan, pero ganun talaga yun eh. One game. You can't think about the big picture. Concentrate on what's next.
That is what the coach
and then
was
when it's
saying.
there, habulin nyo na. Nandiyan na eh. Di kunin nyo na. Di ba? But I'm sure at some point, nakikita nilang, okay, kaya to. Pero, the coaches do an excellent job in not talking about it. Naalala ko, parang may sinasabi sila, wag natin pag-usapan
Kasi
to.
yayabang or parang magiging
Hindi naman.
kakampante. Or iba yung motivation. Di ba parang ganun eh?
It gives you false
That's
goals
true.
eh. Hindi yun yung dapat goal mo eh. Hindi dapat. At the end of you should win it. You should try to win every game and then, go for it in the championship. Anything more than that is just gravy. That's just gravy.
So they knew na okay yung 16-0, kaya nila pero hindi pinag-uusapan. And what
You never go into the season talking about 16-0. Never. I don't know any team that talks about that. No one talks about it.
That's true.
It just happens along the way when you're like 10-0. You want 5-0, you don't think about that. Again, no, I don't think any basketball team or any sports team is built that way. You want to go undefeated because that places pressure on you. I think you just really go for it one game at a time, and then when it's there, I'm sure it weighs on their minds, and it'd be nice to go undefeated, but you just really take it one game at a time.
But how did the kids, so the Ateneans play? Parang, assessment mo of the individual efforts naman of this particular last game. Parang ako, people were talking about good teamwork.
Well,
but then, saan ka nagulat?
Hindi naman, yung the pressure that guys like Pat Magdenberg and Matthew Daves are under. People like to say that without Angelo Kwame we're really nothing. And I listen to my friends in the office from that school in Taft. They like to say, we're only good now because of Angelo Kwame and things like that.
Pero hindi ganun, di ba?
But that's to some extent you can say he's a large part of it because his presence allows you to gamble. It allows you to cheat a little bit. But without him, do you cheat? And we saw Mamuyak burned by Mark Nonoy or even CJ Cancino because he was trying to reach and poke that ball away. But nevertheless, I thought coming into game 2, I wrote something where how we stand to their adjustments in the first quarter, the first half is crucial. And we withstood that.
Kita mo, di
So
ba?
I felt, okay, now we're in a better position to close these guys out. But that's UST. They're very good that they came within 1 point. And as I wrote in my reflection, this is a game where they're still coaching, but you can throw a lot of that out. It comes down to who's got courage, desire, and the bigger balls to close this out. No?
Sabi ni Benji kanina, mas kakabado daw siya kung FEU yung nakalaban natin.
No.
Hindi rin.
No, ako.
Why so? Kasi mas hirap daw tayo nung kalaban sila during the first round.
Watching them from the summer onwards, they were never consistent. They pulled it off towards the end of the
Iba
second
talaga yung
round.
consistency ng team natin,
And
no?
I thought that there were a lot of factors. Had maybe Hubert Cani played better in the first round. He only played 2 good games throughout the whole season.
Galing.
And
Okay,
Ken Tuffin finally found his range in the last 4 or 5 games of the season for them. Wendell Comboy was in and out. It's too much to ask your rookies to lead you.
That's true.
They'll probably win you a game or 2, but
Pero,
that's asking too
iba
much.
yung consistency.
Kasi yun yung sinasabi pagdating ng finals, dikdikan na. Maybe that's why Mark Nonoy struggled. Maybe CJ Cancino struggled. Maybe not. Ako, people say yung may championship experience yung lamang.
Pero hindi pa rin, di ba?
Hindi rin ako
Yes.
naniniwala dun kasi noong 2008, wala naman finals experience yung team na yan.
Correct.
Pero bakit natin tinalo Lasal? So, it's all, you have to factor in the gutom, you have to factor in your lineup, you have to factor in how, sino yung nawala sa kalaban. Marami.
Maganda yun, ha? Gutom, yung line-up, walang
Maturity.
yung puso, maturity.
Diba?
Ano yung meron ngayon? It was really,
Discipline,
I guess,
mental strength.
consistency daw.
Discipline, mental strength. More probably.
So it's that.
I thought that before Tab won his first UAP title, that summer I will remember. I thought they were still a mess. I wasn't
Ang galing.
particularly
Okay.
impressed.
Ang tapang ng
But
okay.
no, it showed. It showed naman But that was the summer tournament.
Were people pointing that out to them?
I wouldn't know. Sorry.
Okay.
I did.
Pero sa mga klase natin, ganun?
Hindi ko alam
wala.
Pero ako sinusulat ko yun. And then,
okay.
I caught a few of their games right before the start of that UAP season. This was season 80. And it was a totally different team. I remember I visited them during practice and then Matt Nieto told me like, sir, si Chibueza Ike hindi na ma-turnover. Parang mas solid na ngayon, sir. Matutuwa kayo. And then I watched a few of their practice games and I was impressed. And like the way that ball was moving around. And in fact, nagpe-press sila. Hindi ko nakita yung press na yun until this year.
Okay.
Dun pa lang 3 years ago. Sabi ko,
Kasi gigil sila mag-throw ng bola pero at least now they were pressing.
I thought they'd press Lasal, no? But I don't think they did that year. Nung nandun pa si Ben Embala, no?
Yes.
But that was impressive, and I felt like, okay, patay kayo sa amin this year. No?
Pero ito, kinabahan ka. At what point ka kinabahan? Nung na-close in yung 1 point? Yung 2 points? Third and fourth quarter?
I was just waiting for Angelo to get back into the game because after a while you could see Magdenberg and Dave's already wavering.
Okay.
So you're just waiting for, even 30 was making mistakes, and so you're just waiting for someone to stabilize that team, and they were losing the rebound more, missing out on those second chances.
Okay.
And in fairness, though, I thought Will Navarro was trying his best, but once you're inside that lane, it's hard to get that ball from Solomon Chavio. I got a little worried. I said, if we're able to answer this run, nung first half, I told Chito Medina, it looks like we're okay because we took their best shot. But I remember asked on Twitter, did we get handle their best shot? Apparently, they had one more run in them, and that was when SJ hit that massive 3-pointer,
that's true.
and that gave us breathing space, and that was it.
Okay.
So I thought that Ateneo.
Okay. On the line now is one player I admired. Well, dati pa, last year he really performed well, and now parang ang daming adjustments under the coaching. No? Parang Isaac was on the line. Isaac, hello.
Hi, Isaac. This is Rick.
Si Rick's here also.
Guys.
Hello. How are you?
Congratulations, champion.
Thank you. I'm doing good.
Ayun na nga. You started, sinulat naman ni Ricky to, no? And I think you're aware about what he wrote, Sabi niya, dati ang tingin sa'yo, you were kind of slow and clumsy and you had to lose weight. What was the pressure on you, Isaac?
Of course, there's a pressure to improve my physique. I knew that coming to college, it was, if not one of but the biggest hurdle to me becoming a basketball player was my physique. So I knew that was a challenge, that if I wanted to play the next level, I had to improve my body.
Ang galing. And how did you do that? Mahirap yun, the diet and then all and how rigorous was that? Yun, parang preparing your body for the games.
I think for me, because the team generally does the same workout, the same running. It's just that because I was such a lower level that I had bigger leaps to make while the other guys were already there, so that there wasn't much room for improvement. So I think that's why mine seems so drastic. But it's a constant effort. It's a discipline that you decide that you make the choice that you're gonna do what's right for your body.
Tapos yun nga, sabi ni Ricky dito, parang dun sa isang game mo pa nga, you became a very good three-point shooter. So parang it was a whole transformation.
Yeah. But out of high school, I was really a better shooter. Not really a three-pointer, but I prefer to take mid-range jumpers. So in college, they just wanted to extend that range.
O Rick, ikaw, assessment mo kay ano?
Well, Isaac, si Rick. Winning 2 championships, how do you prepare for that grind and then going for another championship? I mean,
Or gaano kaiba?
Gaano kaiba yung going for another title, at least from your perspective? How difficult was
I think
it?
as every year goes by, it gets harder and harder because there's more challenge, there's more pressure from you, not only from you but from your teammates. But it's just that since we enjoy the grind so much that we don't look at it as we enjoy it. We go into every practice wanting to get better. We go into every game wanting to be the best. And it's that kind of mindset that helped us improve and get ready for the third championship.
Isaac, I know that coach doesn't really like mga all these titles and all that, no? But at a certain point the team was still undefeated and all that. I know that the coaches don't really want the team talking about let's go undefeated. Alam naman natin iba, they thought about it, but how yung stretch na yun, yung matagal yung nagpahinga, sabi ni Coach Tab na he made sure that you guys worked extra hard. For you personally, from your point of view, what were the challenges during that long layoff?
Of course, you have the challenge where you're not really playing any games. You don't get to go through these knockout stages, which, like you say, USD started to grow as a team after winning against FTU, after beating UP twice to beat. You gain experience. You gain something that you can't earn on the practice floor. But at the same time, Coach Tab is a firm believer of preparation, and that we should always come into every battle prepared. That even if we didn't get these quote-unquote experiences, we prepared and we look back on ourselves and still improve.
So you're done pala with your applied chemistry course, Isaac?
Yep.
You're done. And
Yep.
you're enrolled now in your master's in science, for sustainability management. Where will that go now that you're, well, of course, you're going to the draft, the PBA draft?
Are you?
Yeah, and entering the PBA draft.
Wow.
Oh, yun na nga eh.
Best of luck, Isaac. We wish you all the best.
Thank you.
I want to ask you, nung there was a picture of you and your family post-game, the celebration.
Ako sobra ko na-touch doon.
Is there anything that you guys talked about,
No, talk about in what sense, sorry.
Yung family nyo, parang at the end of this journey, champions, and then, having watched you during your days in Xavier, then seeing you grow as a basketball
Ibang
player,
klase,
and as a person also, no? And nakakatuwa, and then nag-Gilas Cadets ka pa. How cool is that, di ba? Parang, mayroon ba kayo na pag-usapan ng pamilya nyo when all of this was done, yung tapos na?
Yung pagbabago ng pangarap, di ba? Kasi naiba totally. Kasi kaibigan ko rin yung pinsan ba, si Glenn, di ba? Parang iba yung pangarap mo dati, tapos iba yung kasasapitan mo ngayon, Isaac.
I think times change, and we just soaked in the moment, knowing that this was one stage of my life that none of us ever foresaw, none of us planned it.
Yeah.
So we just made the most out of it, take as much as we can from the sport, and give as much back to it as well.
Habang kaya pa, no? Habang may edad pa siguro. No, sabi ko nga, when I was able to catch that nung buzzer na. Ayun, parang may isang galing dun sa court, pumunta sa audience area, nangyhanap na talaga yung mommy niya. Parang sabi ko, kukunti, or walang taong gumawa nun. And Isaac, I would have expected that of you. Pero, iba pala pag ginagawa mo na yun. Ano yung tradition yun? Every after game, you go to your mom?
Di naman championship lang. But I think nauna lang ako because I know Matt and Mike and Ferdy eventually went to their parents. It showed that how important our parents are really to our growth, our development, and how much of a role they played in it. So that's why I think I went to my mom and my dad, because they're the ones who raised me. They raised me from a young age, turned me into the man who I am today. So it's a lot.
Pero ito, yung 5 kayong mawawala, no? The people are asking, okay, kumusta yung team kung wala na kayo, yung 5 na mag-graduate? Well, may plano ba, or meron ng succession na assignments na papalit dun sa may iwan yung mga positions?
Coach Tab doesn't believe in that. Coach Tab is a firm believer that you have to work hard for your role. If you want to start, you have to earn it.
Put you where you're good at.
So there's a lot of work to be done, and don't worry, the team is in good hands.
Okay.
Isaac, if I may go back to the game, I have one question left about that game. Nung bumaba yung kalamangan natin, 1 point, 67-66 after Cancino's drive, can you talk about SJ hit a triple the next possession to bring the lead back to 4. But what was the mood on that bench? Parang akala natin lumayo na tayo, biglang humabol tong UST na ibaba pa ng isa, Andrews in foul trouble again. What can you share from that moment from the bench or on the court?
Galing, go.
I think, of course, there was a feeling of uneasiness because, of course, we were up 10 and then eventually UST chipped it away. But we knew that they were going to do that. Coach Allen and his team never back down. They always give up a good fight. So, of course, we were just a sense of uneasiness across the net. But we trusted our teammates. We trusted our coaching staff that they were going to make the right decisions to pull us away. And SJ hit that big 3 and Will hit that big 3 to answer those UST runs. So it was just really a trust. Of course, we're people, we feel emotion, but our sense of trust was more stronger than their sense of uneasiness.
Pero paano yun? May kaba, no? Parang you acknowledge that, and then eventually you were thinking na mabilis kasi ang bilis nga nangyari yun eh. Did you hear all directions? Parang a lot of things coming from your coaching staff? Anong sinasabi nila sa inyo nung bumaba na nga sa 1 point?
stayed the course. Because a lot of those, a lot of that UST run was caused by our mistakes. So the coaches were pointing out our team's mistakes, and they were saying to the bench, "Stay ready," because Coach Sam at any given point could have called one of us.
Galing.
So they were still trying to keep us focused in the game and not focus on the score.
That's good. Okay naman yon. Kumusta yung yung critic, yung mga iba pang critique ng coach nyo after the game? Oh, of course, it wasn't a perfect game. Sinabi mo nga in one interview, I saw your interview sa the Score, parang kahit si 30, sabi niya, he was doing well, pero after the game, the coach will try to deal with him and with certain mistakes pa rin. Parang, paano yung ganong dynamics?
Of course, in the game of basketball, there's a teacher-student relationship because the coaches are the teachers and we're the students. They impart knowledge onto us and we try to apply it. So, and there's there are tests, there are exams,
correct,
in the course of the game. But this game, wala pa masyado since we haven't got back to practice yet. But Coach Tab is always putting very big emphasis on the details. So even if in basketball you have an outcome, which is if we scored or not, but Coach Tab doesn't like to look at that. Coach Tab likes to look at the development of what happens. So that's how we improve. That's how we get better.
So parang ang sinasabi, walang problema na hindi siya nasosolve or wala siyang defect na hindi tinatama. So parang mag-postmortem pa kayo after this, no?
Hindi na siguro, but I think one problem he still hasn't faced is why I'm still pretty fast and pretty slow.
Okay, the few questions. Celebration tomorrow. What are you expecting? A bonfire ulit, tapos yun nga, may mass sa Sunday.
Does it get old?
I'm just gonna enjoy it.
Yeah. So
I'm just gonna enjoy it, soak it all in, because I know that I'm not gonna get the same experience as even I get to go back. So
that's true.
I'm just gonna celebrate. I'm just gonna make the most out of it.
Sorry, may pahabol akong tanong. What's it like to exit your college career as a winner?
It feels great because I remember, and I remember when we lost to FPU in my first year. Von, there was no crying, there was no nothing from Von. Von said, if you believe me or not, that I would say this is how I expected to end my college career. And I think it's just that I enjoy this whole journey and it's just been awesome. It's nice to win the third championship, but I look back and see everything that I've accomplished, all the bonds that I've made. It's just fantastic.
Pero pag ganyan daw, lalong bumabait, Isaac, ha? Dapat talaga, you enjoy all these things. Totoo ba yung last year, Greece? Sa Greece kayo pumunta?
Yes, these last 2 years, we've had trainings abroad in Greece.
Okay, ngayon, ano yung bonus nyo?
Wala pa sinasabi.
Pero ano yung sana, at the very least, expect ng team? Last time to bond with your team, no? Before you graduate.
I think Boss MVP and the management are planning a trip for the team somewhere in early next year. We'll see. They're still trying to finalize it. They're still trying to fix it. So we'll see where we go. You'll see it on our social media naman.
Okay.
Congratulations, Isaac.
Okay, message to the Ateneo community who's listening to you now, and then we'll see you tomorrow and then on Sunday.
I'd like to say thank you so much for being a part of my journey. I've learned from you guys, and you've learned from me. It's been a great journey, and I always say that Ateneo will always have a special place in my heart.
Okay. Thank you very much, and we'll see you this weekend.
Congratulations, Isaac.
And thank you.
Thank you so much, Isaac. Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Salamat. Bait na bata. Parang yata siguro daw in the end, pwede kang manalo, bibigay sa'yo yung tagumpay, pero kailangan mabait ka pa rin. Parang yun, the whole grounding. Yeah.
I think that's very important, no?
Yeah.
Staying grounded.
Yeah.
Because like you said, no?
It's not about them.
Several years ago, you weren't even sure you'd get even here.
That's true. That's
painful
true.
losses, diba?
That's true. That's summing up. Again, it's not about them. It's about the team, and it's about, yun nga, walang tao sa Mythical 5 na galing sa Ateneo.
Well, it's not the first time this happened to us.
Pero what does it say about, the dynamics?
It's really about the team.
Superstar, di ba?
It's really about the team. So
that's true.
I think that's pretty good, no?
Oh, yes.
But I must say this, no? Tab Baldwin coming in as head coach, it's close to win. He will not agree with this, but maybe it's for other people to say. When you get a coach of that caliber, even before he won his first championship, getting someone like him is like winning a championship.
Already.
Not quite, but it's like because you have a good coach.
Good coach, and then
and everything else when the mentor and all that. We didn't know that came later, but you know that you have a good coach. Like getting Norman Black, you have a good coach, di ba? Mga ganun, anytime you have a good coach, you stand a very good chance of winning.
At saka hindi lang winning, and these particular players will become even better players. No? Parang yun eh.
I think it's coaching. You have to look at coaching from so many aspects.
Parang,
I think before it was just simple X's and O's.
Hindi nga eh.
But it's not eh. Everything has changed. It's being a father, a mentor.
Yeah, mentoring.
I remember one former national coach, and I will not say his name. No? Sabi sa kanya ng assistant coaches niya, siguro kasi dapat yung mga player mo, kung pagagalitan mo, pat them on the back then, bigyan mo ng kaunting puri. And then, sabi ng head coach, kaya kayo nandyan eh. Kaya kayo mga assistants nandyan. Trabaho
kayo yung gagawa.
Oo, ginagawa namin. Pero iba rin pag galing sa head coach. So marami, di ba? There are a lot of things and
parang paninimbang.
One of my friends from LaSalle, si Ed Evangelista from the Zobel team, and Ed congratulated me this morning for the win, and I said, we were lucky because we have someone like Manny Pangilinan.
That's true.
It's not just what he throws in financially, but that belief.
That's true. That's true.
Then you're able to get good coaches like Norman, and then even Tab, no?
Yeah.
And then those factors come into play, being a father, mentor, all these things. Yung sabi nga ni Coach Tab after nung post-match press con nung game 2, he said these 5 guys, the graduating guys.
He stayed
no, nandun sa media room.
Okay.
And I don't know if people saw that, no, because I don't recall seeing cameras, but I'm sure some of my colleagues in media took videos of that. No? And Coach Tab was saying like, these guys have a place in my dinner table anytime.
Oo nga raw eh. That's true.
They're friends,
Pamilya, hindi lang siya.
We hear about that Bebop, band of brothers,
Yes.
Ateneo Blue Eagles, band of brothers, diba? So hindi lang siya pang hashtag eh. Katotohanan
That's true. That's true. What does it mean to win the championship now bilang mga Atenista?
Well, you never, after you win a championship,
Kasi
you'll never know when you'll win another again.
I know, but parang sabi, kayo na naman. Parang for people outside, hindi nila maintindihan yung tipong, iba. At iba yung, sabi nga ni Benji, it's coming at a time when the university is kind of divided on issues. Iba yung mga nababasa din nating news about the Ateneo now, no, sa headlines. Pero the sports was able to unite the community again.
Yeah. I think naman sports like music are one of those unifying factors.
That's true. Pero particularly now, Rix, gaano kahalaga yon sa atin? When people were saying, bigay nyo na sa iba, parang ang tagal nyo nang nasa inyo.
Hindi naman ganun ang buhay. Panulunin nyo.
Hindi naman ganun ang pag-competition.
Panulunin nyo naman yun, di ba? Hindi na ako
galingan.
Bigay yan, di ba?
Correct.
Una, you don't even deserve it, di ba? So, how can we give? Saan ba kayo napulot? Sa kayo na natapos, di ba?
No, it's really competence, excellence, and that's that.
But what does it mean, to answer your question, what does it mean to us at this point? I'll answer for myself first. What I perceive to be for it's, I never, before when we put out the magazine Rebound, we were always asked to like, who do we put our pulse on the line by naming the champion even before it starts.
Yeah.
And I went 5 for 5 for the UAP and even the NCAA. I went 5 for 5 there. But you know that you can't keep it up forever.
That's true.
No matter, people are of the opinion that even after the 5-peat we should have still won. Maybe not there. It's like saying the Chicago Bulls would have won 8 straight instead of 2 waves of 3. Madaling sabihin yun eh. Hindi natin alam, maraming factors in play. Diba? Maybe we could have, but in that year after the 5-peat, Kiefer got injured.
Yes.
Vaughn got injured. JP Ramos playing hurt. Diba? Ang daming may injury eh. So maraming factors. But so for me, what it means, it's another thing to enjoy. tayo, when we were in school, we won back-to-back.
Oh nga. And then it was so nice seeing nga si Jet Nieto there.
Oh, pero if you remember, Noel, in our first year, when we were freshmen, ang champion was UE.
Oo.
UE, sila Alan Kaidik,
Yes.
diba? And then,
Naku, ganun na kami katanda.
I remember
Okay.
UST shooting Ateneo down behind
Yes,
Pido Arencio.
also,
They shot
yes.
our dreams down of any
Yes.
chance of going to the finals. And then, back then, kahit ako as a writer for the Guidon, you see your fellow writers say there's always next year.
Yes.
And then the next year, we all felt that was the year, that was the final
Hindi pa
year where we
rin.
had guys like Ray Rances come back. But we still lost.
Yes.
And UP handled us very well. They went on to win the
Yes.
championship.
Yes.
And we all said, there's next year. We're getting Danny
Ayan na.
Francisco is coming from the high school. But then in our very first game of that year, we lost to UP.
Pero
So we fell flat on our face. But then we went 13-0 after that and we won the
ang
championship.
galing. And who are our heroes then? Sina Eric Reyes, sino
Eric
pa?
Reyes, John
Noy,
Reyes, Donnie Chotico,
Well,
Danny Francisco, Sep Canlas, Jet
Yan nga.
Nieto, JV Gayoso.
Let's zero in on Jet Nieto. Parang, huy, ganyan na. May mga anak na siya doon. And sabihin niya, be humble and be better than dad. Well, parang okay, napaka-selfless din, no? And because the children are really performing well.
I think any father will want their son to
That's
succeed
true.
and even be better than they are. No? And the kids, yung wife ni Jet, si Girlie, kaklase yan ng wife ko sa UE.
Ayan na.
Sa dentistry. Sabay kami nagpupunta ng UE magsundo.
Okay.
Diba? So, we bonded first. Si Jet kumpare.
galing.
Ninong yan ng panganay ko.
Tsaka ang bait, di ba?
Oh, so you get to compare a lot of notes, and then I don't think any father wants his son na mag-basketball ka. May mga ganun din, I'm
So
sure.
ano yun, hindi niya talaga pinush yung mga anak? Kasi
Well, you try to
very
give them
disciplined,
that. You try to give them that. But,
Okay.
it's still out. Once the kids discover the game, there was no pushing them away from the game.
Okay.
And that helps. And then all you can do at this point is try to give them their best. I remember years ago, after when Tab won his first title for Ateneo, I remember posting cryptically rather that the Nieto said a lot of help. Siguro we can put the cat out of the bag. But Alan Kaidik was working with them in the off season. With their shooting, with their dribbling.
Ang ganda naman.
Nag-uusap din yan before every game.
Ang ganda
Nag-uusap
naman.
yan. Oh,
So it is all collegial.
Oo, parang tulong yan kasi
So hindi swapangan, hindi.
well, if you
yun.
notice, Matt improved the shooting.
That's true.
You
Sabi
know?
mga,
He really improved the shooting, and then maraming tips,
Ano yung PBA din?
I'm sorry?
Pag may PBA din yung mga yan? The twins?
Siyempre, sarap sabihin oo, pero if there's anything I've realized from watching the PBA draft,
Iba.
it's not just who deserves, it's also minsan political.
That's true. That's true. Ganda.
Mahirap.
Pero maganda.
Pag napili ka na lang, sige na, nandun na.
Kasi may ibang angulo.
May mga nag-draft, hindi naman deserving ma-draft, di ba? Pero
That's
may mga dapat ma-draft. But even being drafted doesn't guarantee anything. It doesn't, di ba? You still have to find your place in that team unless you're a blue chip player like Kiefer Avena na siguradong can't miss, di ba?
Okay. And now, yun na. Nagpapatawag na. We tried calling him earlier, but okay, another person who won championships for the Ateneo, si Chris Chu will be on the line. Si Chris Chu, remember, ano yung pinagdaanan niyang journey ng basketball career?
Well, he came in 2003, if I'm not mistaken. Then that was the year we were going for back-to-back.
Yes.
But we lost to FEU, and that was the
Yes.
last year of Joel Banal. And there was pressure on Chris because he was one of the he was a blue chip
Yes.
recruit. He was coming in with guys like Ford Arao and all that, but we didn't win, no? So and then there was the disappointment of 2006. We all thought, it's hard to say that, we're gonna mahirap eh. You don't want to think that way. It teaches you
That's
just
true.
to
A
wait,
lot of things.
just to wait and to respect the game and to respect your opponent, di ba? Parang But like Isaac, Chris ended his career on a winning note with the championship, di ba?
Yun na nga. So, well, we have him on the line, and well, it's very significant because it's coming at the point, the championship. Well, yung una nating tanong palagi, ano yung ibig sabihin ng Ateneo Championship para sa kanya ngayon. Pero it came at the point when he retired from basketball naman. So, nanonood siya ngayon bilang isang ex-PBA player. Chris Chu's on the line. Hello, Chris.
Hi, Chris. Rick Alvarez here. Hello.
Hi, Noel.
Hello, yes, hello.
Hi, kapatid.
Hello, how are you? And then Rick Olivares is here also.
Hi, Chris.
Talking about you. How are you? And then what does this championship mean to you?
What does Ateneo Championship mean?
Yes.
Well, I'm very proud to be Atenean. Sarap nga maging Atenista ngayon. I think it's only a feat, no, because it's the first time that any team has swept and won a championship.
That's
and then
true.
a three-peat pa. So it's really a historic event, and I'm just so proud of the school and of course our team and how they represented us, not just on the court but even as individuals off the court.
Totoo yun.
Nakakatawa. Yeah.
Chris, ikaw, when you observe the game, nandun ka naman, no? Ano yung mga learnings at ano yung mga points na kailangan natin matuto from this? Yung isa sa mga lumabas dito, parang it's really not one superstar. No one superstar, not even the coach. Parang ito's teamwork. Wala tayong tao sa Mythical 5 pero nandun yung pagbubuo ng team. Ano pa yung reflection mo from the game?
Not just from the game, but from the team and following them throughout the years. I think it's really a culture that was built. No? Coach Taba really changed the culture and instilled this culture of excellence and unselfishness. No, because you can see from the boys, they were. Yeah, like what you said, nobody's a superstar. So they were willing to forgo any personal ambitions or interests just to win a championship. So the goal was clear, and I think, and how they reached it again is another eye opener. I think not just for us. It is because it was really through team play and a lot of discipline. Not just this year, but I think over the years of training, of being through tough situations, in practices and in actual games. I'm sure they went through a lot of adversity that toughened them up. Mm-hmm. They were used to hardship.
Yes.
They were used to playing bigger and better players. They were tested a lot. So kaya hasana, kumbaga.
But how was it different from your batch, Chris? Yung sa championship experience mo rin sa UAAP?
Sorry, how is it different?
From your championship experience.
I think this team is really a defensive team. And what makes us so special is they're able to thrive from making defensive stops, and that's where they get their confidence, where their offense going. And if I watch them closely, and nakaiba yung effort that they put in defensively, every single person, walang weak link eh.
Walang tapon,
may isang pwedeng i-take advantage, pero sa kanila lahat magaling dumipensa. And then everybody can make decisions, defensively and offensively. The little things that maybe an ordinary viewer would not recognize, but as an athlete, as a former player, you can see the small decisions inside the court. Tama yung mga decision making nila, which allows them to become so successful. So again, we have to attribute that to the preparation that was given to them. Not just this year, not just this month, but years yan. It's years in the making. Correct. And naging habit na nga naging kultura na nila eh. So, it's something that we can learn from. I think not just as a sports team, but in any organization. A culture of excellence, culture of knowing your role, culture of making sacrifices.
Si Ricky yung naka-analyze ng game, yung nung nag-close in ba sila dun sa 1 point na lang na lead, kinabahan ka dun?
Hindi eh. Kasi hindi ako kinabahan eh. Kasi at that time, all out na yung UST. Their strong five was there, buhos na lahat. But
Sa atin na may tago pa, may ilalabas pa.
Import natin, nasa bench pa, nagpapahinga, 30, Matt Nieto, they were all in the bench, they were resting. And Coach Tab was just letting the second group hold the fort. And they did. So they were able to hold the fort on their own. And then they built back the lead up to maybe 7-8 points, and then yan pasok kay Kwame, kay 30, and kay Matt. They're well rested, and then yun na, marangkada na, and that was it. So
you read
I knew that. Honestly, during the game, I was like, Coach, pasok mo na si 30 tsaka si Matt. Pasok mo na. But then I saw Belangel made a big three. Okay, we're good. So when they were able to do that on their own, sabi ko, tapos na to. Pagbalik ng mga main guys natin, pagod na rin yung UST. Binigay na lahat. Our guys are rested. So yun. Lumayo na tayo. Yeah. So yeah, that shows the experience and the composure of Coach Tab. Because if it was any other coach, they might have just
knee-jerk reaction, no? Yeah.
Baka biglang binasok na yung main guys. Or even, let's say, when Kwame had his foul, 2 fouls in the first half, baka some of them would have said, last game na ito, championship na, sugat na natin. I'll put him back in the second quarter. But si Coach Tab, sinaga niya, he trusted in his younger big men. I forget his name, the cute fellow, chubby fellow.
Matthew Davis.
No, the other one, the cute chubby fellow, Soy. And then I think he's from New Zealand. Sorry, I'm
Pat Magdenberg.
And then Isaac Go and the other big men, and he trusted in them, and they were able to do a decent job. They held the fort in the first half. Third quarter, binalikan naman si Kwame, and then when he got into his third foul, ganun ulit. So it was a team effort. Everybody stepped up. Ano yan?
Go. Chris, I have a question. No? This is Rick. Yung disappointment of the 2006 finals and then 2007, you had a bunch of game winners against LaSalle, but we fell short in the 2007 season. Did it make winning it in your final year all the more sweeter? And how big is that? Guys like Isaac, sila third year going out winners. Gano'ng kalaking bag? Yung first part of the question, how did it feel for you?
Certainly the frustration, the falling short in 2006 and 2007 made the 2008 championship much sweeter, for sure. Parang it just made the story nicer. You lost, heartbreaking loss twice, and then eventually you rose back up and came back and won the championship. So it was definitely sweet, and it was my last year. And I think winning it on your last year, for me personally, I think it opened a lot of doors for me on the court and off the court. I think for one, my confidence was up, and I got the opportunity to play in the national team and to be the team captain for the first Gilas program. Off the court, like as I said, because of the buzz and the noise you created in media.
And we got you in media.
Social media at the time. Noel got me into
no, you had
media.
To be there because hindi ka mayabang.
So napunta ako sa mainstream media. I've given TV programs, and then I had some endorsements here and there. So it opened a lot of doors for me.
It grounded you at least, no? But Chris, but this championship is coming at a time when you have retired from basketball already. So hindi ka na-senti na tipong, oy, na-miss ko to.
Na-miss ko mag-compete in the UAAP atmosphere when the students and the alumni and the general public are just so involved and so passionate, and the Coliseum's full and so much energy. Yun yung na-miss ko. But syempre tanggap na natin na we cannot compete like that anymore. I can't run like them or jump like them anymore. So I just appreciate watching them. I appreciate how they play individually and as a team. Especially the Ateneo team. so beautiful to watch. And also UST, we have to hand it to them. They were such a tough team.
Actually, their best play this year.
Consider youth, and even the way they run their offense and how they play defense, it's also pretty impressive. It's pretty impressive. Nagkataon natapat lang sila Ateneo na mas siguro
mas seasoned lang siguro. Yeah.
Mas seasoned. Pero yung UST, they look good with under Coach Ayo.
Okay.
Nice to watch also. Yeah.
But Chris, yun na, sabi nga, it kind of united the university at the time when there were a lot of issues na hurled din sa Ateneo. Well, sports, that's one way of like uniting the whole community. Pero recently, you were active also with the ME block that had a reunion. How was that?
Yes, we celebrated our 50th anniversary.
50th talaga. Okay. So ito, Ricky, no? Hindi lang siya star basketball player, ME student din. Ibang klase rin naman to.
May negosyo pa yan.
Iba nga eh. So how was the ME reunion that you attended?
That's good. It was the biggest reunion as of yet. We think there were about 700 alumni who came.
That's true.
And it was the most well attended, and it was a huge production, and it was a good chance to catch up and see and meet new. I don't know, actually not meet new people, but parang you didn't realize that these people whom you knew from work or from wherever are actually ND alumni rin pala. So all of a sudden nagkakaroon ng parang special affinity if you know you're all from the same alma mater and more so from the same course. So yun, nakakatawa. And then I think we also had the organizers, the board, raised funds and donated to different beneficiaries and scholarship programs, which I felt was very inspiring because these are all very accomplished individuals in their fields, and yet they don't hindi nila na nakakalimutan kung saan sila what's the saying, yung parang hindi kinakalimutan yung pinanggagalingan. And they really created a fundraising program to give back to the scholars.
Nandun ka na sa mode na yan, ibig sabihin tumatanda ka na, kapatid. Tumatanda ka na rin. Nandun na sa area na yun. No? And then, sige, go.
Chris, I have one last question before I return this to Noel. No? Your brother, si Charles, has made a name for himself, not only as a very good coach, but also as a TV personality. How does it feel for you, no? As the kuya watching the younger brother spread his wings and find his place in the world?
Ayan na.
Of course, I'm very proud of him. People sometimes think that kasi kapatid ni Chris kaya ganyan, but no, it's really he did it on his own merit. It was his abilities, his understanding of the game, his passion, and the hard work that he put into basketball, from the coaching level to the broadcast side of it, that really got him to where he is. And he has a live program on CNN, a daily live program. He's coaching several teams, college and the semi-pro, and even pro teams before. So it's really a result of his love for the game and his superior IQ and the discipline. That guy is so hardworking. He like I said, he's coaching 2 teams when he works. He also works for the family. He goes to the office. And then he has a live show. So, and he does that day in and day out, ulit, and he could easily burn out, but he somehow I guess finds a deeper purpose in what he's doing. That's what keeps him going. So no, we're all happy for him and proud of him.
Parang ikaw rin lang, pero now you're doing something else. No, you're part of the SEA Games volunteer program. At malapit na yan. He would have been here kung hindi ganyan ka busy, pero yun nga, what will be happening in the next few days, Chris? Maraming preparation.
Grabe preparation now. Crunch time na, last 2 minutes na.
Yes.
And then the opening is on November 30. So we're going to be hosting the SEA Games after 14 years, and probably we won't be hosting it till another, 20 years, 22 years. So it's really a rare opportunity, and I'm happy to be part of it.
Yes.
Despite the challenges, many challenges actually. Kaya hindi na nakatulog and
Hindi ako nung nalaman ko na ikaw yung in charge dun sa volunteer program. I had my artists go there and say, it's really for a good cause. So nandyan silang lahat volunteering with you and for you.
Sino?
So all the artists, sina Isa, sina everyone.
Oh yes, of course.
I wanted them to be part of that too. Pero
laking tulong, no?
kumusta? Well, a lot of things are hurled against yung preparations, di ba? Yung the question of propriety dun sa mga edifice, sa spending. So, but you're apart from that, no?
Yeah, actually, I'm not the right person to answer to those things about the financial
That's
and
true.
the spending. What I'm having is
Tsaka nakaka-defocus yun at this point na tipong
yeah, that's the last thing we need now kasi everybody's been working so hard. If you see how the team is working, walang tulugan yan. Talagang they're trying to make sure that everything is gonna be smooth during games time and that we're really well prepared. And even our athletes, they're also preparing and they want to make us proud. So we're trying to, here as a Fisgo, we're trying to make the country proud by having a successful hosting and of the biggest and the most the biggest and boldest games by far. And at the same time, athletes also want to make us proud by bringing home medals
I know.
for the country. So the last thing we want is distraction right now. And
So ano yung role nyo as volunteers? So it's really not the decisions on the money side, di ba? It's really not that. So what will your role be during the SEA Games?
Yeah, our role basically in the volunteers program is to recruit, train and deploy our volunteers in the different departments, in the different venues. So we have 9,000 volunteers. That was our target, and we've reached that. And these volunteers are coming from partner institutions, schools, NGOs. We also have online applicants, and
you had training sessions with them, di ba?
Yes, we're training because again, our direction really is to not just to recruit and bring in committed and passionate volunteers. Yes, that's one. That's very important. But secondly, we need competent and quality volunteers also. So that's why we have a recruitment process, and a training, stringent training program to ensure that when they are deployed, they know what to do and they know how to behave and represent our country well. So because again, they're going to be ambassadors of our country. These volunteers are the frontliners, and they'll be interacting with the athletes, the foreign athletes, local and foreign athletes, the spectators. So they have to be trained on proper customer service,
trabaho
proper do's and don'ts, etiquette.
Yung RegCom, yung mga ORSEM, di ba ganyan? Ganyan na dapat on a larger scale, di ba?
Times 1,000.
No, but
more pa.
It will be next week already. So you'll be deployed saan? Or you'll be moving from Manila to Clark to all the other.
Yeah, because we have multiple venues from La Union all the way down to Batangas. So I'm probably gonna be moving around.
But thank you for all the things that you do, and well, thank you also. It was nice to see you at the games. Actually, hindi ko kayo nakita ni Club, but I was monitoring your social media. Sabi ko, full circle na to, no? Parang after mag-retire sa basketball, ito na tumutulong na sa kaibang sport. Parang sa bansa.
I'm very thankful to be given this opportunity. It's very challenging, and I expect a lot of challenges and mga glitches that might happen during games. I imagine that's 9,000 and it's multiple venues, so there are going to be logistical and coordinating issues for sure, but we're trying our best to minimize that. But again, I want to thank our volunteers who have been so committed and so passionate, and the stories that they hear are inspiring. There's so many stories I'd like to share, but
sobra, at ang kapalit lang, no? At ang kapalit, isang jacket. Yun lang talaga.
It's more than that, Hindi naman nila habol yun. It's a chance to
Totoo.
When you hear the stories, when you hear the stories
Ang
and
galing.
why they want to do it, it's really inspiring. And it's not about the T-shirt that they're gonna get.
I know.
Sometimes they want to be able to wear that Philippine flag on their shirt, but it's a chance to serve and to give back to the country. Eh. So we have
Galing.
Filipinos who flew in pa from Marawi, from Cagayan de Oro, Bacolod, Singapore, may Norway pa nga during the interviews. Tapos they came in for the trainings also, and they're not naman compensated, but they want to do it because they want to make the country proud. They want to give back, and when you meet people like this, it makes you realize, oh my God, there's so much hope for our country pala. And sana what we're gonna do eventually is we're gonna share stories of our very selfless heroes. So sila yung mga heroes talaga, and sana they can serve as inspiration to our fellow Pinoys and Filipinos who have become quite doubtful and discouraged, about the country. So I think this is a good venue, and that's what the Volunteers program is about. Not just for of course they're important to have a successful hosting, pero it's the opportunity to serve the country and to further instill and to foster that love for the country. So that's really the bigger objective.
Okay. Maraming salamat. Thank you for everything that
Chris.
you do, and thank you for making us proud always. I hope to see you soon.
Oh yeah,
Will you be here tomorrow for the bonfire?
Tomorrow. Oh no, I won't be able to.
Okay.
Too many things we have to.
I-congratulate mo na yung team na at least recorded na. So, team and for the whole Ateneo community listening to you now.
Sorry?
Your message to the team and to the whole Ateneo community that's listening to you now.
My message, congratulations to the Blue Eagles and to the entire community. I hope that we will never forget this historic moment. Not just the fact that we won the championship 3 times in a row or swept the season, but more so, let's remember the kind of students and athletes that we are grooming, and the importance of values formation in the education of our students, because ultimately these boys and girls are gonna go out to the real world, and they're gonna be leading our country. So let's continue to give importance to this development, this side of development of our young ones.
Thank you, Chris.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you.
Thanks, Chris.
Thanks. And continue making us proud.
Thank you.
Salamat. Salamat, kapatid. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, bye-bye.
Thank you. Well, he's always good news.
Yeah.
Parang
always a good story.
Yeah, good story and good news and good person. And sabi ko nga, it's coming at a time when he's no longer part of the basketball team. Pero, senti na lang siguro, no? Parang it's really passing on the
sanay din naman siya mag-multitask.
Ibang klase. No, we'll play lang. I think this was the championship song, yung Pilgrims team, at a certain point. Tapos let's play that lang, and then we'll go back to Ricky and the final siguro assessment and final messages siguro dun sa mga susunod pang mga batches, and then ano na yung naghihintay na future sa Ateneo team pagkatapos na to. So here are the 2 Jesuit songs na na-associate dun sa sa pagkapanalo. So ito po.
Paulit-ulit ang nagplano. Paulit-ulit ngunit lagi din naman ang mabago. Wag mo na kayang palampasin, wag na wag mo na kayang palakasin, wag na wag mo na kayang patagalin, tenanaw mo na gawin mo na. Level up, lumilipad, level up, hanggang ulan, level up, tumitingkad, level up, matutupad. Go na go na go na go na go na go lang go. Go na go na go na go.
to wear. Tired of watching clouds repeat their dance on air. Tired of getting tired to doing what's required. Is life for me routine in the greater scheme of things? Through with taking roads someone else designed, through with chasing stars that soon forget to shine, through with going through one more day. What's new? Does my life still mean a thing in the greater scheme of things? I think I'll follow the voice that calls within. Dance to the silent song it sings. I hope to find my place, so my life will fall in place. I know in time I'll find my place in the greater scheme of things. Each must go his way, but how can I decide which path I should take? Who will be my guide? I need some kind of star to lead me somewhere far, to find a higher dream in the greater scheme of things. The road before me bends. I don't know what I'll find. Will I meet a friend or ghosts I've left behind? Should I even be surprised that you're with me in disguise? For it's your hand I have seen in the greater scheme of things. I think I'll follow the voice that calls within. Dance to the silent song it sings. I hope to find my place, so my life will fall in place. I know in time I'll find my place, for yours is the voice in my deepest dream. You are the heart, the very heart of the greatest scheme of things. So here I'll follow the voice that calls within. Dance to the silent song it sings. I hope to find my place, so my life will fall in place. I know in time I'll find my place. Follow the voice that calls within. Dance to the silent song it sings. One day we'll find our place, for all things fall in place, for all things have all place in the greater scheme of things.
If there's one more gift I'd ask of you, Lord, it would be peace here on earth, as gentle as your children's laughter all around, all around.
Your people have grown weary of living in confusion.
When will we realize that neither heaven is at peace? When we live not in peace.
If there's one more gift I'd ask of you, Lord, it would be peace here on earth,
As gentle as your children's laughter all around, all around. Grant me serenity within, for the confusions around are mere reflections of what's within me. If there's one more gift I'd ask of you, Lord, it would be peace here on earth, as gentle as your children's laughter all around, all around, all around. I'd ask of you, Lord, grant us peace here on
peace here on earth.
I'd ask of you, peace here on earth.
I'd ask of you, Lord.
You have just heard a song from the Jesuit Music Ministry. Follow JustCom PH on Spotify and JustCom Music on YouTube. We are also on iTunes and Deezer.
Jesuit Music Ministry, music that uplifts the soul. Follow JustCom PH on Spotify and JustCom Music on YouTube. We're also on iTunes and Deezer.
Hey, Katipuneros, don't change that dial because we'll be coming right back. Let us understand mental health and explore how we can take care of our emotional, psychological, and social well-being. Welcome to your weekly slice of mental health tips and tidbits with Pat and B. Here on Mind Ed.
Sa'yo sumisilong kapag ang puso ko'y pagod.
Welcome to the Rundown, where we take you right into the action with the latest sports news, updates, game previews, breakdown, and analysis in, around, across, and beyond the Ateneo. And now, let's get ready to run down!
Here in the last stretch of Level Up, Ateneo Level Up, with my matchmate and a very good, journalist, si Ricky Olivares.
Hi, everyone.
Here, ito. All Kaps, Ateneo Level Up, celebrates who we were, what we love, and what we stand for, and what's next. So, let's go back. Well, bihira ka na rin lang nandito. Well, samantalahin natin. Talk about your student life and your university life. How was it back then? At ano yung mga
Well, it was-
pagbabago nakikita mo ngayon?
It's totally different. the campus was smaller.
Oo, parang ito ngayon may build sila.
Di ba? Nakakatuwa din to see. But I'm sure even my dad can say that from the time his time in Padre Faura and here in Loyola Heights. It's a different camp. During my time, our time, iba yung time na yun. Now it's totally different. Yeah. But having taught here for a few years, it's a thrill. And it makes you fall in love with the school all the more. I think that's why you hear the phrase, "Ang sarap maging Atenista." It's a collective experience of your stay. There's a romance with the campus, with the university. I guess with schools that have been around for a long time, there's something like that. That
That's
sense
true.
of history, that pride of the people who have accomplished things for the school and even the country. There's that pride. So
Tama ka dyan.
that's why we say ang sarap. There's
Yung
that
pagbabalik,
history.
no?
Tsaka yung kita mo naman yung lineage natin.
That's
diba?
true.
We're even guys from Dr. Jose Rizal, all the Katipunan heroes
That's
from
true.
the Del Pilars, diba? And all that. Diba?
Spent their best years here.
Oh, diba? So, iba So, you know that you're carrying on a legacy.
But tell them, what kind of student were you, Rex? I always see you a guy doon.
I was very inconsistent as a student because, in high school it was fun playing baseball and football.
Yes.
We had our band also. And I had some terror teachers. I was afraid of them also.
But let's name them. Kanino ka mga teachers natuto? Yung tipong people who inspired you. Yan, na positive yan. Yung tipong,
that's hard to...
kasi yun na, dati yung panahon natin, and I got this from yung mga interviews with students, no? Dati yung nagtatatak sa atin yung mga terror teachers, di ba? Pero ngayon, iba yung mga millennials. They did cite those people, those teachers na nagiging kaibigan nila as the ones most influential. Ikaw, sino yung mga mentors or mga teachers na nagtatak?
I've never been asked that question. Kung sinong teacher ko since my grade school days na it's bits and pieces of everyone. There's no one particular teacher.
Pero may binalikan bang teacher ikaw on crucial decisions in your life? Kasi ganun ako meron binabalikang mga Jesuita pwede or mga kaibigan sa Ateneo.
Well, I've been close to people like Father Bert Ampil. Very close to Father Bert Ampil. Actually, a lot of the Jesuits, I would even say Father Ben Nebres. But, since my high school days, it's been Father Bert Ampil.
Galing, no?
We talk a lot.
Why
he
so?
calls
Bakit
me...
yan yung nagtatak sa'yo?
I have a funny story. In my first year in high school, may General Assembly lagi yan. Hindi ko lang alam kung meron pa yun ngayon.
Meron yan.
And then he called me out in front of the entire high school body for not paying attention. But the truth is, I was paying attention. I just had my head bowed. But it's hard to maintain looking at the stage for 40 minutes. So I bowed my head in that exact moment, and he saw me, and he said, "Hey, you!"
In front of
you with the mop top, the Beetle mop top, and with the eyeglasses. You. Then everyone's like, "Okay, who's he pointing to?" And then I looked up, and then I point to myself like, "Me? Yes, you.
Wow.
Pay attention."
Okay. And from then on, naging kaibigan mo?
I was embarrassed.
Okay.
The entire student body. So after the General Assembly, I seek him out, Father. I was paying
That's very Ricky.
I
That's
just
very Ricky.
bowed my head, di ba? Defensive sa ganun. I will defend myself.
Pero tahimik pero cool yan. Lalapit sa'yo, bakit naman?
Then Father said, okay, that's the only thing he said. And then, we became friends after that. Even to this day. In fact, I've encouraged him to write his memoirs. Diba?
Ang galing.
Before, he would call me after every article I'd write and then he'd give me his insights, everything. And I appreciate that from someone like Father Bert Ampil.
Galing.
But there are other teachers.
Sino? English teacher. Sino yung, well, of course,
Eric
you're
Torres
right.
for a while.
Okay.
And
from the art gallery.
Yeah. But to be honest with you, wala. I think I look more to classmates and friends. Teachers kasi...
But you never expected Dek go to di ba, batch natin na nandiyan na siya.
Pero si Dek, magaling naman si Dek talaga.
Pero gusto ko magsulat pa siya ulit kasi he would do that.
Magaling talaga si Dek.
Okay.
Marami naman magaling magaling sa batch. Vanny de Sequera.
Yes.
Di ba? Maraming mahusay. Ruel Noledo. There were a lot of
course,
guys
Lea
who were-
Castaneda.
Yeah,
Of
there were a lot
course.
of very good, I don't think I even qualified to be in that same sentence with
ito
those
yung-
guys.
Ano yung advice na nag-stick sa'yo? Well, lesson na nag-stick sa'yo hanggang ngayon? Yung tipong nagre-resonate hanggang ngayon na, ay, sinabi
I'll
to
tell
ng
a
isang
story.
tao.
It's not even how do you say this? A bit of advice. When I was in grade school, I had this classmate of mine. May reading of honors yan every quarter.
Yes.
I had this classmate of mine who was given a special award for helping during times of crisis.
Okay.
Yung mga crisis, no? Tumutulong sa mga
Bagyo,
ng
yeah.
mga goods for the
Yes.
homeless, yung natamaan ng mga bagyo, and all that, no? And then I did not like this classmate of mine. We were together in the football team, and I did not like him at all. And then I told myself, I'm gonna hihigitin ko yung ginawa nitong tao.
Okay.
And I did.
Which is
Whatever he
good.
did, twice
Tinatapatan
better.
mo, okay.
But I never got that award. So I was waiting for the next reading of honors, like for my name to be called, and my name was never called. And I felt angry and jealous, insanely jealous. And then the next quarter, hinigit ko pa kung anong ginawa ko.
Okay.
As in, ang layo na, wala pa rin. And then I told myself,
Ano pa ba?
it did not dawn to me until a little later that I was doing it for the most selfish of reasons.
Galing, no?
I wanted the glory, but that was wrong. You do it for the wrong reasons. Hindi ka pagpapalain ng Diyos. But then the takeaway was, I realized that I enjoyed helping the poor. In fact, before coming over, I saw this homeless woman and my kariton. I actually posted it and shared it. I gave her my lunch. I bought her dogs cans of Spam and all that. And I do it a lot. I post on my Facebook every Monday that, Monday, start of a new work week.
Galing. That's something good.
Bring your own sunshine to your workplace.
That's true.
Do your best and bring your own sunshine to the workplace. Every Monday, I post that.
galing.
And do what you can to help the poor and the homeless. The hope that you share goes a long way in making sense of this crazy world.
Totoo yan.
It's a mantra that I post. And that's something that the
That's so
man for
inspiring,
others
yeah.
creed that was inculcated in me helping. And I told my office mates today, giving my lunch to that poor woman was the highlight of my day.
That's true.
No matter what I accomplished for my company today at work, that was the highlight of my day.
Iba,
Kasi,
no? Iba talaga yung mindset ng being grateful and being thankful
think
and being
that-
more
yeah,
generous.
I think that I wanted an award back then, and I looking back at it, that was probably one of the things that changed me as a person because I enjoy doing this. It's not even I don't need my name in the lights. I'm a media person. I couldn't care less for that.
That's
I've written
true.
books. I never thought I'd write books.
That's
I am on TV. I never thought I'd be on TV.
Yes.
I'm just grateful for everything.
Galing.
And I think, Noel, one of it is just, having lived and worked in the United States. That's another thing. You asked me earlier kasi parang, I think it's the people I come across with who've changed me, mga even some Ateneans.
And give you the context of larger context.
There was a time
that's beyond you.
in post 9/11 New York City, and I was there was a time I couldn't find work, and I was just doing odd jobs. One of them is the late Ronnie Alejandro, who was my dad's classmate in Ateneo. He made a name for himself as a writer, as a food critic, and someone in the cultural scene of New York City made a name for himself.
That was when?
Oh wow! In the 70s, 80s, he made himself.
Ngayon sikat yan mga ganong
Pero
pop
he
indie.
passed away na, no?
Okay.
And I know that when Mr. Alejandro died, he sent his massive book collection to the Rizal Library.
Galing.
This man's house in Greenwich Village was filled with books, and he
Galing.
had shipped everything to the Rizal Library. But you meet people like him along the way, and he was giving me odd jobs and keep your spirits up because don't think about nega taga Ateneo. Oh, I must have a good job. I shouldn't be doing manual menial jobs. No, but
That's true.
if there's anything tulong-dunong, Asil taught you that bakit, di ba? It's what you do with your life that counts.
That's true.
And all these things, no?
Kumpletuhin natin yung nostalgia. Kailan ka pinakamasaya when you were in college? Or when you were in school?
Alam mo, naiwan ako nung nawala yung batch natin. Naiwan ako. So,
Nagpang-abot mga halos kayo nung sumunod.
Nung sumunod.
Yes.
And then, I'll always go back to that freshman batch because that's when you know, forming a group like ASOC that was totally different from what it is today, and you know, you start to discover who you are, and
you were there at the games hanggang ngayon yung ASOC crowd, di ba? Parang ang saya pa rin.
But you know, I remember something. No, this might sound something negative, but there's the social crowd that hung out in Xavier Hall. The ADMI kids, and then
yun pa rin ba kaya ngayon?
I don't know eh.
Iba na.
Then kami we hung out in the quad, and then I remember Vanny de Sequeira was our classmate in the English honor section, saying, you know, Rick, you know, you shouldn't act like you're tough and all that because you're a nice guy. He said that just be who you are. Stop acting like a punk.
That.
Acting like a punk.
No, but when you were there, we were safe. kasi aawain mo silang lahat for us.
Yeah,
because you were so principled. Parang,
but the thing is, you know, that stuck with me. What Vanny said, and then in fact a few years later, you know, when coming back from the US and you're here, I'm back home, I'm covering the games, and then nung una nakikipagbangayan ako sa mga lasalista, ganyan, and then someone wrote me a letter and said, you know, Rick, a lot of people read what you write and they believe it, you know.
But the thing is, they don't hate you.
No, meron din naman mga from the other schools, no? But ang sabi ng letter writer na yan, leave the bashing to the younger crowd. Just you just concentrate on the writing. Huwag ka na makipagbangayan kasi nakikipagbangayan ako eh.
Tama rin naman. And that's a lesson learned, no?
Yeah, you know, so you learn from the people along the way. And then, you know, I remember after a while, Lasal was asking me, hey, can you write for our team? You know, then you had Kaloy Garcia was then coach of Rain or Shine, calling, hey, can you write about the Rain or Shine team? And then I started writing for NU. I started, the UE team asked me, hey, can you write for our team? Then all these books started happening, you know.
Na ibig sabihin parang hindi naman sa walang prinsipyo, pero parang less stress ang buhay. Like Doreen Fernandez, for example, would write about food, pero kung ayaw niya yung food, hindi na lang siya sulatin. May ganun kang rule. Well, or knowing you, sasabihin mo yung dapat mong sabihin.
I move back and forth between a columnist, opinion writer, and someone who writes feature stories.
Okay.
And then I also move into this area where I analyze games.
Yes.
No? I've also done the exposing. Nag-expose ako.
Okay.
And that brings you a lot of enemies.
Yan na nga.
You know, when you expose the kalokohan.
You've mellowed.
No.
Hindi pa rin.
No. If I need to expose something,
you will still do that.
Yeah,
At least though, you stand for something, no?
But it's I'll be honest, Noel, it's very difficult because to be honest with you, parang ang hirap kasi na magsulat ng negative.
That's true.
Or even kahit dapat talagang i-point out mo kasi nagnanakaw to, gumagawa ng magic, di ba? Ang hirap din kasi, lalo na dito, napaka-sensitive ng Pilipino, nagagalit sa'yo kahit tama yung sinasabi mo, di ba? And then, meron pa magsasabi,
that's very real, ha? In media, totoo yan.
Sasabihin pa ng iba, mo na, may ginagawa rin tama, parang, just because you did something right and you did something wrong, it cancels it out. That's not the way it works.
You know, in our industry, they know if you stand for something, if you're principled.
Well,
alam nila.
Yeah, I think
mas may respeto, di ba?
I think that's how I help make a name for myself. But it's not easy. It's never easy. Even writing about Ateneo, I put myself. Some people say parang hindi ako tenista magsulat na I point out. Sabi ko, that's not what they taught us in school. You have to look at it objectively and point things out. And if it's written in a good manner, what's the problem? I think what people don't understand is there's a difference between pointing things out and bashing.
Yeah.
Bashing, mindless yun. Hater. Iba naman yung hating eh. Iba yun. Diba? Walang pinagkaiba yan sa magulang na pinagagalitan yung anak.
Okay. Tama.
Diba?
Na may good and good God.
Oo,
no?
diba? Just because nagalit or nag-point out, it doesn't mean that the parent is hating on the kid. Definitely not. Iba yung bashing eh. Iba yun eh.
So no mellowing, not at this point. With principles, sana na.
I think it's just changing of a paradigm shift. You can say that.
That's true.
Diba? There's a time I will, you know, kasi like right now, some people say, even to the other schools, some bait ko, hindi, you have to be friends with everyone.
That's true.
You can't just say,
and this is the time for us to create.
Hindi ka pwedeng go Ateneo all the time. Siguro if I'm a fan and not a journalist, go Ateneo tayo.
Yes.
Pero as a journalist, you have to stay in the middle. I don't cheer. I stopped cheering.
I
I stopped
saw
cheering since 2007. I stopped. That's when I was called out to leave the bashing to the younger ones.
That's good.
I stopped. So now for me, the only time I will wear an Ateneo shirt is in the finals.
I saw you
The
there. I'm so happy to see you there.
The final game, that is the only time I will. I remember Greg Slaughter asking me during the 5-beat, Sir Rick, how come you don't wear Ateneo shirts? You wear football jerseys? I said, people get upset if I wear an Ateneo
Lalo na
shirt.
pag journalist.
Oo, hindi
Oo.
ka dapat kumakampi.
Correct.
Pero sorry, pagdating ng final, sorry na lang.
Alam mo kung sino nasa puso ko.
Oh,
Pero ganito, when we were younger really, or siguro dito mas tumatag yung pinaniniwalaan natin. We are really defined by the things and the people we say no to. Yun.
That's also true.
Yun. Nung bata tayo kasi, everyone else will say yes to people just to be nice. Pero ang kaibahan siguro natin at this point, lalo na, alam nating mag-no or hindi kami yan. We don't like stand by those.
Yeah, I agree with that, Noel. I think it's also having worked abroad a lot.
Okay.
You work with different people. Hindi ka pwedeng ganito at ganyan.
That's true.
Hindi ka pwedeng balat sibuyas pag napagalitan ka.
That's
Hindi
true.
ganun yun eh.
That's
Kaya nga
true.
yung coming back home and you find that why am I in the midst of 4-hour meetings?
Yes.
The longest meeting I ever had working for an American company was 30 minutes. Because we have to
And you knew what to do na.
Yeah, we read
after,
everything. The agenda was sent to you. It was just quick decision.
Here, you have to meet to set another meeting. Parang ganun yung di ba?
It's insane,
That's true.
But it is what it is. But you just try to find your way and adjust. And it's the same thing in journalism.
And
The same thing.
reunions now, you meet your other friends. Oh, well, the game is always a site for reunions.
I try to attend as much as I can. It's kind of difficult because I have a heavy workload. In fact, I remember nung ating at least
25th anniversary. Now or 30th Ngayong
I was in Vietnam.
Okay, for work.
Yeah, that was the night the Philippines beat Vietnam 2-0.
Okay.
Yung Ascals, no?
Okay.
And I remember guys like sila Doc Garma looking for me. Where's Rick Olivares? And then, but I remember I told Cyril Soriano, I said, I'll be in Vietnam for the Suzuki Cup. That was the same night that we beat Vietnam. And
at least you're doing
always
something for the
forgiven,
country.
kumbaga. But you miss your friends when you see
That's
them.
true.
A lot of them moving on, shifting this mortal coil. You value your friends more.
That's true.
And like bumping into the other day, it was such a good thing. 'Cause
Ako sobra
we used to have our
kasi.
jokes back in college that we will not mention on the air. It starts with the letter U. And we should not mention that. But you value your friends. You see your
That's
old
true.
teachers and you love them to death no matter what happened before. Even the bad memories become good memories
And
in
those,
some way.
yung advice nila truly matter because sila yung walang stake. Yun naman, your college friends will be the ones to ground you with good advice kasi wala silang kabig.
Tsaka kilala ka nila eh.
That's true.
I saw who you are
That's
then,
true.
and that was the real you.
That's true.
Then who you are now is probably a byproduct of whatever you've been
Other
through. But more or less,
influences,
they
yes.
know who you are at the core.
Pero dun sa mga reunions, was health always part of the talk?
Oo naman.
Oo nga ngayon, di
Lalo na
ba?
when you see some of your batchmates moving
That's
on,
true.
and then you talk about it. And a lot of our batchmates, they would point out on Facebook like, Rick, watch your health. You keep
That's
talking
true.
about
That's true.
you're not feeling well. And that's the stress because of a heavy workload, a heavy workload. No, I don't have days off, and it's forced me to take some
media,
yeah. So you value your friends, your classmates, everything. I think again, having lived abroad, and then you learn to value life. And living in post 9/11 New York City, you learn to value everything.
That's true.
You going through losing your job, doing odd jobs here and there. You value everything.
Are you in the legacy mode already? Like eventually, kasi you have books and they'll be in the library. Parang ganun, nandun ka na ba? Or not consciously, but then
To be honest with you, I never think about stuff like that.
But you just continue creating.
Sometimes I go back to that person, like I wanted that glory. The kid that I told you earlier.
Yes.
There are times I wanted it, and then when I never got it, I felt disappointed. So I don't look for it. I don't look for it. Like the other day, another si Jacob Kabotchan, who's an Atenean also, who came much later than us. He's the guy who runs Phil Bars, that comic book shop, and others. He said, "Hey Rick,
pero yan na lang yung magsusurvive, Phil Bars at saka
pero ito yung maganda doon, may in-offer siyang racket, quote unquote, and then you're just grateful for things like that.
Yeah, that's true.
It has taught me, like, Rick, stop looking for why didn't I'll get upset. Okay, why don't I get this TV gig anymore? So kind of get upset about it, but then you realize, like, dami naman na ibang blessings. So what are you complaining about?
Yeah.
There are a lot of people who don't get this stuff. So stop complaining, Rick. There's this story very quickly.
Go.
I was doing odd jobs in New York, and then there was a blizzard, so it's super, super cold. And we were handing out flyers. And you can't hand out flyers when you've got gloves on, so you got to take your gloves off.
That's true.
You cannot throw them in the trash can because may CCTV looking at you. And yung katabi kong babae, Mexicana na TNT. Ako binabayaran ako $11 per hour for 4 hours to hand out flyers.
Pero hindi yun sa...
Isa-isa.
Hindi sa kung sinong tatanggap. Kasi dito sa Philippines, yun na kahit ayaw mang tanggapin yung papel na yung mga flyers na yan, yun pala, binabayaran sila based on ilan yung bigay nila.
Well, I don't know how that is here, no? But we had to, all I know is that we had to dispose of it. And you can't throw it in a trash can because there's a CCTV pointing at you. And you had to do it for 4 hours. No, but I was paid regardless.
Correct.
And then yung katabi ko Mexicana was half of me. Could not speak a word of English, and I could speak Spanish. I was conversing with her. And she was being paid $4 an hour, and here I am complaining, being paid $11 for 4 hours. Siya 8 hours for $4. And I told myself, Rick, you know what? Stop complaining. Stop. One of the things that I learned was life is not fair. It'll never be fair, and it's how you work around that.
And it starts with a grateful heart. That's it lang.
So all these things, yung sinasabi lang go down from the hill, and that going down from the hill means so many things. And sometimes being down on the hill is being down on your luck, and being really with not much left, and then how you rise up, diba? And I rose up from that.
That's true.
When I look back at it, and gosh, those are the best days of my life. I had nothing when I was down there, because it changes you as a person. Kung anong yabang ko bilang Atenista, hindi naman ako siguro mayabang na tao, but meron din kahit paano. That was beaten out of me, and I thought the Lord remade me into, reshaped me into something. And if you ask me, Noel, what are my legacy? Ewan ko.
You're writing really well, and then I think it's just continue creating these honest. Because you found your voice, huh?
But you know what, Noel? What I'd like to do is someone asked me today at work, what would you like to do? It's like, if I become rich, I'd like to open a shelter for the poor and the homeless.
Kayang-kaya mo yan.
That's what I want to do. That's what they taught us.
And document their lives. Ako talaga yun. You're good at writing, and people actually acknowledge your guts also, and as a journalist.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Because you found your voice, and it's really telling the truth. Kukunti na nagsasabi niyan ngayon. Ayan yun kailangan.
I have had my share of death threats.
Pero okay lang yan. Pero kasi yun nga, sabi nila, kaya siguro nasa music yung tatay mo, parang what politics cannot do, what media's afraid to say, at least the creative people are able to do it. So, yun eh.
Pero alam mo, Noel, I don't just do sports writing. I do a lot of music writing.
Yun nga eh.
I do a lot of travel writing.
Kung makita nyo po yung library siguro ng bahay nila, sobrang the old records are there. Kasi yun eh.
I do a lot of social work too. I stopped the political stuff.
Ang nagsasucceed ngayon, yung may range ba ng interest, at saka yung mga, hindi yung boss na ng isang kumpanya, yung dami ng pwedeng magawa. Kasi ngayon, yung mga tao, tinitignan kung ano yung skill at yung interest na pwede mong makover. And
may sinasabi si Coach Tab na parang ganyan eh. Parang you're good at a lot of things but the master of none,
Pero hindi naman yan ngayon eh.
Ang belief ko kasi, yung the more you can do, the farther you will go in this world. Unless you're a specialist, diba? And I'm not a specialist. If I'm a doctor, I specialize in this, I'd probably be acknowledged as the authority. But I thought that after college, working in advertising, I had good teachers, and they would say that don't just be a copywriter, learn how to be an art director. Since marunong ka mag-drawing, marunong ka mag-layout, mag-art director ka din. And then may protocol din pag copywriter ka, upo ka sa likod. Pag may shoot, let the art director stay in front. But good directors like Neil MacDonald, Cholo Laurel, who's also from Ateneo, would say, Rick, come here. Understand why we shoot things from this perspective. What is a cinematographer's job? So you learn a lot. And I started directing a few videos and commercials. And
now, yung may latitude gumawa ng napakaraming mga bagay ng maayos, yan yung nagsasurvive.
Exactly, yeah.
Yun yung ano.
Actually, believe it or not, right now, I had to give up a lot of my writing jobs. I still do, but I'm back in the corporate world, handling hardcore marketing.
No, but pero basic. Mag-marketing ka man dyan, kung di ka marunong magsulat, iba pa rin. Yun siguro yung advantage natin bilang Atenista, di ba? Yun parang at least, Benji Tolosa was talking about eloquence, sapiensya. Even our athletes knew how to talk, or at least
I think that's
you
important.
have to communicate and to reach out to people.
The Jesuit education is molding you everything, diba? Your body, your mind, and all that.
Balik na tayo full circle. The Ateneo spirit. What was the best thing that Ateneo taught you?
Being a man for others.
Still.
Hands down, man for others. There's nothing like trying to help others. It's the best feeling in the world.
Tsaka lakas ng konsyensya sa atin, no? Yung tipong gano'n, if you do something parang, oo nga, it's not about us. It has to be, parang success doesn't stop with what we want, but what you can give back.
Yeah. It's just, people take it for granted. It might just be a saying, but I don't know how I tried to live it. I never realized that I was living it until someone pointed it out, and I found it embarrassing. Some people say like, oh, why do you post what you do on social media? And I said, you know what? Why does the UN post anything on their website? Because you want people to do something and to show them that there's a way. And through it, I get donations when I do my rounds, and I celebrated my birthday by feeding homeless people, and I always do that. And then you have people who donate money, and one of them is the father of one of the Blue Eagles. He donates money, and I even had Denden Lazaro help out before by bringing in food and stuff. You want to help out, and like I said, that hope that you share goes a long way in making sense of this world. And alam mo yung hindi natin ma-realize yung value of a hot meal, how good you feel after eating something.
Until you've experienced that reality.
Sakto, diba? So, ako yun, that's it. That's being a man for others.
Ako, my prayer always, bago ko matulog, not the form prayer, kasi ang daming tinuro naman sa atin ng form prayers.
Yes.
But it's really like finding God sa araw mo. At hindi ako titigil hanggat magsasabi na, oh, thank you, I saw you there in that thing that happened. Kasi mababagabagab, takot ka rin, no? Parang wala pala yung Diyos sa araw na yun. And you just have to say thank you. And it changes that whole mindset.
Sakto. Even the little things in life,
Kasi nung bata tayo, hindi natin kayang mag-thank you. Yung papuri nga sa atin, ayaw natin. No, wala yan. We brush it aside.
I guess we didn't fully understand or grasp it then, Noel, no? But when you're older, hopefully you're wiser. Hopefully you mature, but hopefully in time also, no? Because some people never realize it, and that's sad, no? But I think certain episodes in our life will force us to look. That's that moment. That is that moment that changes you. Either you miss it or you don't. It's like a basketball game. May turning point.
Naibalik ulit, yes. Totoo yan.
Kasi may moments yan There are moments in the game that the game will turn on its head.
That's true.
Had SJ Belangel not hit that 3-point shot.
Ayan na naman ang favorite dating player.
But there it is.
So that he's the next best player.
Hindi, alam mo pare, siya yung bombero.
You have to be here, diba? SJ.
Ako lagi pag ganyan, pinapost ko sa social media, tumawag kayo ng bombera.
Talaga siya yun.
Diba? SJ Belangel is on fire.
What does SJ stand for?
I think it's Sam Joseph.
Sam Joseph.
Mali
If
ka.
he has to be here one of these days.
Something
Kasi
like that. Sam
pero at least hindi
Joseph.
siya conscious na magaling siya, di ba? Parang at sana wag.
If you meet the kid, he's well-mannered. He's a nice kid. Very well-mannered.
Okay.
Yeah, I've been following him since he joined us in high school, and he's a good kid, no? Tsaka ang takaw.
So, kailangan mong sagutin yun dito. So,
Hindi alam mo kasi before nung...
is he the next best thing? Well, next best.
Ang hirap
sino ba?
sabihin.
Okay.
Oo naman, pero Tyler Teo is also very good. You
Okay.
know? I think the reason why we didn't see him in the finals is because it was a matchup thing. But
Yeah.
had it been UP, you would have seen more of Tyler, di ba?
So, tama nga yung point mo, kailangan yung matchup.
Matchup yan.
Okay.
Matchup lagi yan.
So-
diba? I think good coaches know that. It's not, you play the right person. May mga magic bunot yan
Galing.
di ba? I mean, really, you look at Pat Magdenberg and Matthew Daves. With Kwame 2 fouls away, everyone
true.
thought would be feasted upon
Wala
inside.
na. Hindi naman.
Nah,
Hindi.
they held their own.
So, iba.
Oh.
So, the last to wrap this
Oh,
up,
sige.
what are you most thankful for after all these years? Ang tanda na natin, 50 plus.
Ano ba to?
Ayun.
Basketball question ba to?
Kahit hindi, kahit balik mo sa basketball, ano yung thank you. Pinaka-grateful ka. Because it changes us.
Being down there
Really?
when I had nothing.
Parang basketball din talaga. no?
Pinanggagalingan yung...
Galing,
Di ba?
no?
Do you become better? Do you rise from your challenges? Look where this team came
Ang
from.
galing.
I think that's it.
Tsaka as athletes, parang ikaw rin, nanggaling ka dyan, no? Mas madali silang makakope dun sa frustrations and being down.
That's why I think
It's character building, really,
student
no?
athletes deserve a little more help and a little more respect. Everyone tends to think that the jocks don't really have anything between their two ears. I used to think that way also, even if I was one. But nung nagtuturo ako sa college, binigyan ako ni Seb Sarmiento ng sandamukan na Blue Eagles. Sabi ko sa kanya, Seb, pwede bang i-trade ko lahat to? Ayoko to
Okay.
sa klase ko.
That's good.
Sabi niya, bakit? May problema ka ba sa kanila? Wala. Baka kaibigan ko they might take advantage. Hindi, sabi niya, maayos yan.
Okay.
And true enough, I had very good students.
I see you going back to the Ateneo teaching, ha?
I taught for 3 years.
Okay.
And then I stopped because I have such a crazy schedule.
Okay.
I had guys like Eman Monfort was a wonderful student. JP Aram was a wonderful student. Eric Salamat left a good impression on me because
At hindi mo mawawala yung pagka-teacher, ha? Even in your field.
I think it's probably the best
that?
profession in the world.
That's true.
Because you're teaching kids something and you hope
That's
that you
true.
make a difference in their lives. You hope that you just want to do a good job and teach and they learn something and you hope that they don't think that you're a terrible teacher. If you affect them somewhere along the way, then that's just gravy. Like I said, everything else is gravy. And I'm grateful because
And in the end, it's not the skill because they can learn that thing.
yeah, it made me look kasi like I remember Eric Salamat messaging me close to midnight. Akala mo sumisip-sip lang pero dinidebate ka pa about the topic in class.
Not picky.
Sabihin mo kung sumisip-sip o hindi. But you know what? He was on point. And I'll give it to him. He was on point. And then in class, he would brace it again, And I remember even Ryan Buenafe, you think everyone will say he's lazy and all that. And I remember I asked him, Ryan, you don't have to answer me in English. Kung gusto mo, magtsabakano ka. Diba? Kung Klingon yung gusto mo, sige.
Okay.
But then, sabi niya, alam mo, after class, he waited for his classmates to leave. Sabi niya, sir, hindi kasi ako Inglesero.
Okay lang.
Sabi ko, hindi ko naman kitang require English. Sabi niya, nahihirapan siya in front of class.
Mo, yeah.
So he answered, he offered his opinion, right or wrong. And then one time, I even asked him, I don't think you wrote this essay kasi perfect English. Sulat mo ngayon sa harapan ko. Ito yung topic mo. And you know what? I framed that actual essay that you wrote. And I thought it was really good. It was like my blind side moment.
Galing.
Something like that. Galing. And it was actually amazing.
Because it's really not the skill. Because they can bahala sila to learn that. It's really more orientation, I guess, and character.
This is like, if I may move again to the basketball reference, maybe this is like Coach Tab trying to bring out the best in your players. So as a teacher, you try to bring out the best in your students.
That's true.
It can't just be study. Can you motivate them? How can you bring out the
That's
best in
true.
them? And I like to think I did because I think I got very good grades from these kids, rating me after the semester.
But beyond those numbers, I guess yung after that, yung babalikan ka nila, sasabihin, you've made me a better person, and then remember you.
I think,
at wala kang atraso sa kanila.
I think a lot of them, when you hear them say like that was one of my best subjects in Ateneo.
Galing, no?
One of the most fun that I had, and it was cool. I started out as an elective class with 20 students.
What was this class?
Journalism.
Ang galing. Under the ComDap or
Under
English?
Com. And then
What? Kay
my
Mark?
first sem.
Doreen?
No, si Seven Dean ko. Si Sev.
Okay.
Seven Dean ko. And then I initial class 20 students, but I ended up with 25 because people were sitting in. And then the next sem,
Here's
the same number,
per.
pero 30 na yung pumapasok sa loob. And then they finally gave me the biggest classroom in the college. And then about 40 plus students, 45 students in my class.
Galing.
That was the most fun part, then you have kids really enjoying it. I hardly had kids who nag-absent. I had fantastic attendance.
Yun ba yun?
That's one of the best. And when you hear your students now tell you that, that was one of their best, you wonder maybe if they're BSing you, but
Galing.
but I don't know. Maybe they are, maybe they're not, but I don't want to think about that. But the feedback, they add you on Facebook. They have
Correct. And we may not be in the formal classroom setup now, but with the things that we do, we get feedback from them too. And hindi natin mawawala talaga yung pagka-teacher. In the end, parang kahit dun sa mismong community and now
Sarap
your business community.
The best yun. You asked me earlier about teachers who made an impact in my life. I realized that it's bits and pieces of everyone I met along the way.
Okay.
In school, it could be a priest, it could be a teacher, like Norman Reyes would say something from our Natsai class. And, there's bits and pieces. You have classmates, people you don't expect. And at the end of the day, when I realize it, I guess that's the sum of the journey.
It's all character building.
Yeah.
Thank you for
everything along the way. Even the other day, I was pulling out my awards from the school.
Okay.
Maniwala ka, Noel, di ba? I wasn't the best guy in math.
No.
I had my own math award. Can you believe that? Nanalo din ako ng math award.
Galing.
Diba? Parang,
but you didn't work for it. Parang hindi ka conscious na dapat makuha mo yun.
No, not at all. Not at all.
And it's coming always at a time na hindi mo expect.
So then you realize like, okay, I had this good teacher who was able. That's when you realize I had a good teacher who was able to bring that out.
That's it.
Diba? But if you don't have a teacher to bring that out, you struggle.
Tama yun. We should be apostles of the average.
Exactly.
That empower other people to be their best.
Hindi ka ngayong minsan.
Yun talaga
Minsan I wonder, kailangan ba maging terror? Hindi ko alam. Hindi ko alam kung tama yun.
Iba na.
Maybe for a different time. But I realized that people who took a different approach, maybe a kinder approach, I don't know if that's the right word, they were able to bring out the best in me. So that's what I try to do,
Yun na iba siguro yun. Parang now, it's not very important kung tama ka o hindi sa argument. Well, it is important, but yung impact mo kung mas mabuti kang tao, yun yung natatandaan nila.
The cool thing is I give lectures in UP, UST, San Beda. I've even given lectures in Mindanao State University. Can you believe that? And actually, in a couple of weeks, I'm doing leadership training seminars.
That's you.
Guess where?
Saan?
In Lasal.
They have a lot to learn from you and a lot of Ateneans going there too, ha? Kasi daw mas mataas yung sweldo ng mga teachers doon. Pero sana we can match that. Anyway, you'll be there tomorrow.
I will.
Covering.
I'm not gonna miss that.
Okay.
I don't think I've missed.
Or your last message to the Ateneo community listening to you now and actually waiting for everything that you write. So sabi niya,
oh wow, well, siguro for the students, enjoy your student life. Really enjoy it. Try to do a lot. Learn a lot. Soak in from this experience because once you leave the school, you're gonna miss it. But like I said, cherish everyone you meet along the way, and then you know what? Live the man for others. It's not a saying; it's a way of life. And then for what the team has accomplished, be thankful for it. Kasi kami ni Noel, yung batch namin, nag back-to-back champions. We didn't expect it, to be honest with you. We knew we had a good team, but in 86 when we lost and then
It's all
akala
part of
namin
it.
wala na, next year na naman.
Yeah.
And then nanalo in during our final year we
Third
thought
and
that
fourth year.
we'd win it again, but we lost, you know. So you learn to look at things in perspective and just be grateful for everything that comes your way. So be thankful for this, celebrate it, enjoy it, but let's not go overboard and let's put other people down. You know, it's not
That's
cool.
nice.
That's not really cool. Just enjoy it and be thankful for it. And
So #thankful, #grateful tomorrow.
yeah.
So thank you, Ricky. Thank you, Benji Tolasa.
Classmate, maraming
Thank you,
salamat.
Isaac Go. Thank you, Chris Chu.
Chris
Ayan,
Chu.
all really good samples of like men for others, people,
Thank you, everyone.
person for others.
Thank you for listening.
And
I hope
character building, no?
alam mo na, well, ngayon ko na nalaman may radyo ka din.
Yan na, at least na alam nyo na.
Have I been gone that long?
Mukha, pag-usapan natin mamaya yan. Well, anyway, here's the welfare challenging everyone to be relevant and stay relevant. Live life in all caps and always level up. So until next week, dito lang sa, yan again, Radyo Katipunan. Maraming salamat.
Magis.
Di kailanman mapipigilan pag-buhos ng ulan. Ang buhay sadyang ganyan.
Kaya lang papago-pago pag-ibig na namin. Lahat ay lilipas, magsasalita.
Huwag kang mabahala, huwag mataranta. Hindi kailangan ang mag-alilangan pa.
Isipin mo laging nandito lamang ang aking balikat, sa'yo'y nakaabang.
Asahan mo, hindi ka iiwan sa mundo. Lahat may hangganan, asahan mo. Wala nang atrasan sa iyong bawat hakbang na pupuntahan. Pangako kailanman, agad akong nandyan. Sang tawag mo
At tuwing nagdidilim ang langit, di ba't nagpapakita ang buwan? Hanggang mag-umaga na naman.
Tara't hintayin na natin
Sikat ng iyong araw
hanggang sa magliwanag muli ang lahat.
Asahan mo, hindi ka iiwan sa mundo. Lahat may hangganan, asahan mo. Wala nang atrasan sa iyong bawat hakbang na pupuntahan. Pangako kailanman, agad akong nandyan. Sang tawag mo, asahan mo, hindi ka iiwan sa mundo. Lahat may hangganan, asahan mo. Wala nang atrasan sa iyong bawat hakbang na pupuntahan. Pangako kailanman, agad akong nandyan. Sang tawag mo sang tawag